Hello and welcome to another episode of Manifest Actual Play. I'm Tommy Cotton. With me as always, Dan Barron, Addy Gia, Seth Lilly, Roman Mylan. We are here to play Manifest the RPG for y'all. But before we jump into the actual play and all the cool stuff that's going to happen, these cool people have cool things to talk to you about. So, cool people, start talking about your things.
Woo! Yeah, we're feeling cool. We're feeling groovy. All right. So I'm here. As you may or may not know, if you're a first-time watcher, you probably don't. If you've been watching, you definitely do. We like to pick a charity every month that represents the month and the time of the year that makes sense, and we try and bump them and let you know what they are. So today and this month is the National Human Trafficking Awareness Month. And so for that, we are going to go ahead and bump Polaris. They were founded in 2002. They serve victims and survivors through the National Human Trafficking Hotline, and they're dedicated to building a data set that illuminates how human trafficking really works in real time. And they're also committed to turning knowledge into targeted systems-level strategies to disrupt and prevent human trafficking. So they're a really great group. They work with survivors and center them in their work. They tell their stories and uplift their voices to educate about those systems and how they exist intentionally or unintentionally and how those support human trafficking. So if you have the platform or the money or the time, the link is in the chat. Click on that and you can find out more about Polaris and the work that they do. Next cool person.
It's me. Yeah, it is. And I know what you're wondering. No, I'm not blurry. I'm just moving back and forth very fast. Hi, I'm Roman. And welcome back to the Manifest Actual Play stream. We are here around about 8 o'clock Central every Tuesday. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us. If you have trouble remembering times and days, maybe you've been in the wilderness for months because of legal issues. And now you're back and you're trying to reintegrate into society after the legal issues have quieted down and we're in a different state or country, even a country that doesn't have extradition. Whatever your situation is, there are these buttons below me that's a bell and a heart, and Twitch will tell you when we're live. So it doesn't matter if you're here or if you're in the Philippines or maybe Eastern Europe somewhere, sort of an undisclosed location, Venezuela, somewhere that you can't, for legal reasons, say for fear of punishment. Twitch will tell you when we're live. Twitch will tell you when it's Tuesday at 8 o'clock here with the heart and the bell button. You can follow, you can get notifications. Twitch will let you know when we're live.
Nervous, right? Because they're like, is he specifically talking about me? How does he know? This is just a random Twitch stream.
I know. But I won't say anything. If you click this big purple button next to this, it is to subscribe to the channel or gift subscriptions to people who are hanging out and watching us but haven't taken that jump yet. It also gives you the notifications, but it can also unlock emotes and stuff. And all of that support from subscriptions and from bits goes straight back into helping us make the show better, bring in guest stars. Season 2 is starting to wind down. What do we want season 3 to be like? The more money we have, the more options we have. So all of y'all's support really, really helps through subscriptions, through bits. All the bits that y'all gave for the light and the darkness goal that we met and we are working on. We're so excited to bring y'all very, very soon. We really appreciate y'all's support. Truly, truly, truly. Thank you so much. If you have Amazon Prime, you get a free subscription. We would really appreciate it if y'all toss that our way. We love y'all so much. Thanks for being here. Follow our socials. Follow Laura Dern. That's it for me. I'm gonna toss it over to Addy.
Thanks, Roman. Wonderful job as always. Hi. So, in case you were wondering, after you followed all of our socials and hit that subscribe button, if you want to be able to get more content from Waypoint Game Designs, the company that created Manifest, you can head over to patreon.com/Waypoint Game Designs. I definitely remembered exactly, not just as I was saying it, I knew it already. If you decide to become a patron there, you are able to get a monthly newsletter, our Drifters Roundup. Also, a behind the scenes look and blog post, and then our we release a new exclusive Patreon only adventure every month as well. This month is the first of a trilogy, so now's a great time to start. And then Dan, what's the title of it again?
Oh, Blood on the Bayou, you get a boat.
You get a boat. And then also you get access to our exclusive Patreon members only Discord channel and our exclusive Kickstarter and backer Discord server. So you get a whole bunch of benefits plus extra stuff and the first opportunity to be in the know for anything cool that's happening, and like first dibs on like merch and all that good stuff. And it's pretty much the best way to get a direct line to us, other than of course being here on Tuesday night, which you will remember because you've hit that bell. So with that, I think that's it. I think actually I did the whole thing and I was going to segue into something that doesn't exist. So that's really exciting. I'm going to turn it over instead to Tommy, who is going to tell you about viewer grit and the Ponzi scheme that it is.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, grit is is an expendable resource in Manifest that allows players and GMs alike to manipulate their roles and make things they want to have happen the way they want them to happen. And you'll see up here in all of our little windows a little number. That's how much grit each of us has. So I have 9, Dan has 7, Addie has 11, Seth has 5, and Gus has 10. Now, I do just want to let everyone know, I know if anyone has been paying acute attention, you know that I always...
I got a question there, Tommy. Where'd you get that 9th grit?
Yeah. So you'll notice that I usually start with 8 because as per the rules of Manifest, the GM always refreshes back up to the grit equal to 2 times the players. However, like we said we were going to at the end of last session, we did roll initiative off camera and good old Seth Lilly rolled a misfire. And so he spent 3 of his grit, which meant I got a grit. So that's why we're starting with me at 9 and Seth at 5.
I was doing so well too. Like Addie had kind of taken over the mantle and was rolling.
Because you gave me bad luck.
You know, and what? Why did you pass it on to somebody else? Why did it come back to me? That's what I want to know. Okay.
So, you, the viewer, also have grit of a sort. Your channel points is called Viewer Grit. You can access it at the bottom of your chat. There's a little waypoint star that you can click on. You can do things like unlock emotes you don't have access to, highlight your messages, and most importantly, you can give grit to any of the individual players or me, the GM. When you do that, we resolve it in the time that it makes sense. Like, you know, it can't necessarily like interrupt a moment, but it might if it seems important enough. Like, you know, basically it gets put in a queue and then we access it when it makes sense. For instance, right now is a perfect time for me to look at the queue and say, hey, +1 grit to Porter from Fiddler Undone.
Thank you. I knew you'd pick up on it.
And another +1 grit to Porter from Chris, saying this is honestly just a more expensive way to give grit to the GM. Thanks for pointing that out, Chris. Now you'll notice that it costs 1,500 of your channel points to give grit to one of them, but only costs you 1,000 to give grit to me. And when I spend grit, they get grit, so you might as well just save some of your channel points and funnel the grit through me, the GM. It will make it to them eventually, and just also I might be able to take an arm or 2 along the way.
If I may, I have a prepared statement after my last week. I do have to issue an apology. Last week I explained buying grit for the GM, spending your less amount, as when you buy grit for the GM, you buy trash for a dumpster. I would like to clarify that it's not actually trash for a dumpster. It's like trash for a dumpster. I've been advised by my attorney to make that clarification.
We're
building bridges tonight on the stream.
I'm going to
This
murder
feels
them
like a
all.
good start.
Okay. So now you know how viewer grit works, you know how you can interact with the stream, and that can be really important because sometimes really bad things happen to the players and you can save them by throwing grit at them. There isn't a limit to the amount of grit they can have, which is 12. So if they ever have 12 grit, you can't really give them any grit. And then there's no limit to the amount of grit I can have, though in theory there's a limit to the amount that I could spend. Though this episode, I imagine I'm going to want to spend all my grit, so feed me. Okay. With that being said, we are going to get ready for the actual play. We're going to jump into the recap after we take a moment to look at the super cool character art that we got from Kate May Art. So let's all transport our mind to the world of Manifest and look at these cool characters before I attack them with an evil critter. All right, and we're back. So, okay. Previously on Manifest Actual Play, our four drifters have entered the Heartwood Forest. It's a massive jungle in the southern part of the garden on Manifest. It's teeming with life and danger of all sorts, including some weather that got the better of our drifters on their way down the Flagstone River. They got hit by some truly terrible weather, which turned into a flash flood, basically shoring their boat up against a tree that they then climbed to get away from the rising water. And then they set up camp. And at that point, as the rain kind of stopped, but the water was still kind of like flowing and settling, their guide suggested that they move back towards the flagstone on foot because they're not really, it's going to take way too much effort, be too dangerous to move the boat all the way back to the flagstone itself. So they're in the forest hunting for the guild hall of the Legionnaires of Astoria, a gunslinger guild. They are in possession of 2 guns that belonged to a fallen legionnaire, and they are Gus has sworn an oath to return them to the guild hall. They're also heading to the guild hall because they know that their rival Leo Riggs, aka the Raven, is planning on going to the guild hall to hunt down information on the mysterious immortal Everlight ghost of Owen Lemaire, formerly associated with the Legionnaires 200 years ago. So On their way through these massive tree branches that connect like parts of the canopy of the Heartwood forest, way above the ground, they wandered into Splinter Cat territory, and a Splinter Cat attacked them. What's a Splinter Cat? I'm glad you asked. Here's some dope art of it. A Splinter Cat is a massive predatory cat that has like this thick armored carapace of a body with huge like antlers that conduct electricity, and it can actually supercharge its body and launch forward with such speed that it's basically a bolt of lightning. And it earns its name Splinter Cat because typically when it does this, it shatters tree branches, which it did. The tree branch that our drifters are on. It pounced on the drifters, basically splitting this massive tree branch into, it's kind of precariously propped between its stump and the tree that it was reaching out to. Eloise fell from the shattered tree branch, broke her arm, potentially irrevocably, on the lower limbs, before Dex produced a grappling hook and managed to catch her with it, and stop her descent so she didn't fall all the way down into the flowing water below on the ground. Porter and Dex are on that forward part of the tree branch that is kind of broken and it's not like teetering necessarily, but it is obviously not that stable as it's shattered from its host tree. And Gus and their guide, Yaz, are on the more sturdy part of the tree branch, and standing in between Gus and Yaz and Dex and Porter is this massive creature that like turns its eyes like running with golden electricity that like moves up and in between the antlers over its head. This kind of regal predator sitting with complete ease on the tree branch, looking around at its potential prey. We all rolled initiative, so we're gonna get right into it. Initiative is going to start with Dex. So Dex, you are currently like the weight of Eloise is pulling you towards the edge of this tree branch, which is kind of like rocking slightly with every step.
Okay. So just real quick, getting oriented in my head. Back the way we came is more sturdy. That's where Gus and Yaz are. There's a Splinter Cat in between me and them.
Yes.
Is there a space further ahead that is more sturdy? Like, does this branch intersect with another more sturdy thing?
Yeah, the thing that is keeping this, like, if this didn't fully like kind of intertwine with the neighboring tree, the limb that you were on would have completely fallen. But instead, it's kind of like pressed up against the splinters of where it was attached and resting on sturdy tree branches further ahead of you. The stump that is broken behind you is way closer than the somewhat distant end of the tree branch.
Okay. How precarious is the spot that I'm on? Like, does it seem like moving around is going to make it fall? I know it's huge.
It's like you have a pretty good sense of like the sturdiness of things. You have wall running. You have a lot of like, second story work experience basically. Yeah. This thing isn't the sturdiest thing, but it's definitely not like, it's not going to topple over like immediately. Like if Gus were to body slam into it, it would probably like break and either break a little bit and fall part of the way and become much less sturdy, or completely like fall downward. Is kind of the situation. You would need a lot of movement, a lot of prolonged movement, or another large impact to make this thing actually fall.
Well, I'm gonna do a thing that's gonna leverage some physics here. So I'm gonna try and get to the more sturdy part.
Okay, cool. So there's big, huge, like actually dangerous, sharp shrapnel of this massive tree in between you and that sturdier part. So you have wall running, which is gonna make this a lot easier for you, but you're still gonna have to basically roll a gymnastics test to like quickly traverse from where you are to the other side without getting like any lacerations or anything like that. Because you have wall running, I'm just going to give you a -2 for this.
Okay. So I will spend 2 grit to play to the gallery. So that these 12s explode.
Okay.
Okay. That's 4 hits.
Cool. Yeah. You're able to, like, you're kind of still, like, basically, since I assume you don't have the strength to really, like, anchor yourself in and hold Eloise with ease.
No,
what's
I think,
happening?
like,
You're running at an angle. Yeah. The weight of Eloise is pulling you to the left, but as previously mentioned, this tree branch is actually quite wide enough for you guys to have set a relatively comfortable camp on it. So, like, you are, like, getting to a part where most people would start to feel pretty uncomfortable with the slope, but you are able, like, to kind of pull against the weight of Eloise and use that to then, like, get yourself up, and then you basically kick off of a part of the splinter that snaps after you jump off of it, and like tumbles down below you, Eloise, like this, like almost like sword size, like shrapnel of tree branch, like flies past you as you see the cable above you swinging over to the more sturdy side. Dex, I'm just gonna call that a quick action to kind of leap over that kind of splintered chasm.
Okay. And then instead of landing on the sturdier side, I would like to use my incredible gymnastic body control in the air to go off the other side of the large branch so that I can use myself as a counterweight to pull Eloise up. Because I'm fine if there's somewhere to land down here. I'm good.
Well, I mean, yeah, there are like lower tree branches. Eloise hit a couple of them on her way down. They're much less like massive than the one you're on, but they're still big enough to house like a person. Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, you got 4 successes, so I'm gonna let your 4 successes have you clear the, like, you basically get pulled to the left, and then you find like a big chunk that you're able to like jump both feet on and then kick off of, breaking it, and you fly over the splinter cat, which looks over the electricity. You can feel the like hair on your body like stand up as you get close to it, and you fly over it and just hold on as you and the rope, the cable like whips up, and Eloise, you start flying up, and you see Dex swinging down below you as you go up. Dex, we'll call this your other quick action to land this.
Sure.
Go ahead and roll a gymnastics test to try and land at a spot where you're not going to take like basically fall damage. Mm-hmm. You have the swing. It's a pretty dastardly maneuver. I'm going to go ahead and give you a -5 for this.
Okay, does that factor in the benefit of the grapple gun to like climbing maneuvers?
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if this counts.
I don't think it does.
It's not climbing, it's falling with style.
Yeah, I don't think it does. Does the grappling hook give you reliability on those tests at all, or does it just give you bonuses?
I think it's just bonuses. I would have to look it up. My recollection is it does not give reliability. It just gives like bonuses.
Okay. I think then you're not getting any bonuses. Had it given you reliability, I would have let you keep the reliability of it. But so you are using this in an unconventional way.
I mean, no one's ever been Spider-Man. Sure, no one's Spider-Man.
It depends on how you feel about Spider-Man and jetpack duplexes.
Yeah, that actually makes less physical sense than this one. Okay. I will, man. So, like, every time, we're always, we're in sessions where we don't fight stuff, and then I just accumulate grit so I can do a thing. So I both go at strong and play to the gallery. I'm at 0.
Oh my god.
It will become clear why this is good in a moment. Yes, that's 6 hits.
Yeah. So with that, I'm not going to have Eloise roll any test to land safely on the branch. You're able to swing yourself as a counterweight perfectly to like basically get Eloise up and then like kind of swing out at the end of like that momentum and stop pulling on her, like just so you don't like drag her across and like make her have too much momentum where she has to catch herself. Like you managed to land her like right by Gus. Eloise, you fly up and like tumble over, and then you stop getting pulled by this grappling hook. As Dex, you're able to like detach the cable or let go of the gun, whichever you want to do. As you then like full on land, like one hand up on a tree branch above you, one leg down on a tree branch below you, and then like press yourself up nice and sturdy, like just fully like land right in the spot that you want. You honestly, it's going to be really easy for you to get back up onto the tree branch if you want to.
Okay. I think I will like hit the trigger that starts it retracting and then let go so that the climbing device to save you if you fall retracts itself onto Eloise's chest plate.
Yeah, so you let go, it's like zzz, so Eloise, the tug is done, but you can hear like the cable retracting towards you. And you do feel an extremely terrible pain in your shoulder as your
there's pain now. There wasn't pain before.
Yeah,
there
is
was no feeling before.
Yeah, now it's
Okay.
now pain is setting in, and it's starting
Yay.
to run
that.
down your shoulder, and it's like at your fingertips and at your shoulder. This like horrible, like kind of like growing fiery pain. Okay, that's Dex. Eloise, you are safely placed next to Gus. And now the Splinter Cat goes.
What I should have done is I should have tied the grappling gun to Porter. Then I should have pushed him off so that both of you were hanging down out of the way.
Oh my god. +1 grit to Dex from Random Jerk.
Thank you.
Dex is no longer at 0 grit. Yeah. The Splinter Cat is going to see Eloise land next to Gus, see Yaz reaching for her gun, Gus like kind of assessing the situation, and energy is going to crackle up its crown, and it is going to launch forward at Eloise, Gus, and Yaz. So I need a defense test from Gus and Eloise.
Is this deflectable?
Yeah. Yeah, you can bring your shield to bear.
Can my shield deflect this as it is currently partially punctured?
What do you mean it's partially punctured?
That's where the grappling hook
That's
attached.
fine. Yeah,
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I don't want to cheat.
if your shield was on your arm that wasn't working, then you would not be able to use your shield. And y'all are up against a 10.
Can I counterattack this?
No, actually.
Please?
Nope. This one counts as a ranged attack.
So I just have to stare sullenly at these 4 net hits.
Yeah.
Cool. And it's not even a punish cowardice. Dang it! This cat is a coward. I swear. Don't want to get close to old Gus. Knows what'll happen.
So Eloise, what'd you get?
I'm going to make my luck, I guess.
Okay.
One more time.
Okay.
I have a 7.
Okay.
I don't
So
like the way you said that at all.
so
Go right back down. I don't know why you didn't leave me back there.
so Eloise,
I couldn't hold you.
Eloise, you do take 18 damage with no armor piercing.
Ugh.
Gus, you said you got 4
Okay.
net successes, so you're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically 3 because ties go to the attacker, I think.
I take an injury.
Is that your last slot?
This is my last injury, yeah. My final injury. So I get to roll 3 dice and take the highest. Yeah, so I now have a festering wound, which reduces my insight and durability.
That's really bad.
All right, your insight and durability attribute are reduced by 1 as this thing disappears for a second and this bolt of lightning launches forward and it appears right by you and Gus and Yaz. Gus, you're able to like leap out of the way. You were ready for it. You like leap actually forward so it appears behind you and the energy flies over you as you like hit the ground and roll and like turn around and get ready to fight. The burst of electric energy flies forward. Eloise, you are at a -1 to all tests until basically effectively the not your upcoming turn but the turn after that. You'll be at -1 for your next turn, basically, is the better way, easier way to say that. And your initiative does go down by 1, so you have 6 initiative now instead of 7.
I didn't even lose a turn, nerds. This cat's a nerd.
Yes, you did. You did lose a turn.
I did? Dang it.
Yeah.
I don't know how this game works. I only wrote.
Yaz also gets hit. And stumbles back, like landing on the ground, like gasping for air as the electricity like courses around her body. Eloise, the electricity courses in and it actually like shatters like part of like the like emitters that like controls your armor, like building out and retracting, and like that creates like this like kind of current that shoots up your like neck and like. You get kind of a little bit of like a red mark that's like kind of in like a spread, like a lightning spread. But what you really feel is like that pain that like goes up your neck, like immediately transmits back to like your like brainstem and your spinal cord. You feel it just kind of. You feel it just kind of like dig in there and like you like aren't paralyzed, but you feel like the effect of like your nervous system being like supercharged with electricity. It's not good. And then it's going to swipe. It's going to swipe its claw at you, Gus.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and I'm gonna bamboozle you 4 times.
Oh, are you?
Puts you up to 12 grit.
Yeah, knowing that I can only take 2 of it. I see your games. I know your tricks. Do I want to bamboozle? No, I don't. But maybe in another sense I did.
Currently, you are up against a 9, but I might have a grit to spend, depending on what your highest is.
I had a 13.
Okay. Then how many net successes over a 9?
Just the 1.
Okay. Then I'm not spending any grit. I can't beat the 13.
Cool. That I punch it right on back.
Cool. Well, for how much damage?
Just 6. 6, but it's all piercing.
Cool. Yeah. So it like sees Biaz and Eloise drop down. Well, I guess Eloise just kind of roll with the attack, and Yaz like stumble and fall back, and immediately like with lightning fast feet whips around and like pulls up and like with 2 quick swipes of its claws goes at you, Gus. But you're ready. You actually like ping ping like get both of them like on your gauntlets, like clutching both, sparks flying off, and then like as you block the first one, you pull back blocking the second one, and you just find that opening and you just like dig your gauntlets right into this thing's like ribs, like cracking its carapace and like pulling out those like spikes as you pull back, getting ready to keep going with this thing. And it is going to go ahead and do a double down. So everyone gets a grit. Dex, does that put you at 2?
Yes, it does.
Cool. I thought I changed it, but I must not have saved it because it was still at 1. Okay. And with this, it's going to swipe its claw at you one more time, Gus.
I'm gonna bamboozle it twice.
Okay. You were up against an 8.
I have an 11.
Okay. This is a whole new turn, so you actually can counter attack it again.
Yeah. No, I have an 8. That doesn't go through, right? On a counterattack?
No. It's still like it's the aggressor, so it still has the tie.
Then that's that's 2 successes.
How much damage?
That's gonna be something in the neighborhood of 12 damage, 6 piercing.
Okay. So it comes at you again, trying to like get, and it's like just like a bunch of like really quick, powerful swings, but like you pull back, block one, get a jab in, pull back, get another jab in, and like this thing is like pushing you back, but your like footwork is strong and you're like holding your ground. It can't quite get on you, and then you like just get a few good like jabs in, like really clean hits in on this thing.
Oh dang! All them feet, none of that footwork. All right, let's see.
Then it is going to like you like get like one hit in and it like pulls and stumbles back for a second, and as you move in to like kind of regain the ground that you had to lose, it's the electricity surges up its body again and it launches at you again.
Okay. Okay, yeah, but it's still in melee range.
No, this is a ranged attack.
Okay. If it moved away, I can punish cowardice.
No. It's
okay.
And don't forget your additional negatives for multiple attacks.
Yep. See, I've been attacked 3 times, right?
Yeah.
So I'm at a -2. Cool. So I got a 12.
I also have a 12.
Oh.
Well, but you do eliminate my other successes, so.
Cool.
So I'm going to go ahead and twist the knife.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that.
And you're going to take 12 damage, no armor piercing.
All right.
You're going to be at a -1 to all tests on your next turn, and basically until you get a second turn. And then your initiative is going to go down to 6.
That's a real shame. I don't like that.
Porter, what's your awareness?
Right now it's 5.
Okay. That's higher than yours, right, Gus?
Higher than my awareness, yeah.
Okay, cool. So Porter's actually going to go before Gus now.
That's shock.
But I'm just doing a quick little 1, 2, 3.
What if he didn't?
Yeah, what if he did?
Might be nice.
Could be nice, I think.
And that is going to be the end of the Splinter Cat's turn. Porter, you are up.
Can I get to Eloise quickly?
Yeah, you gotta traverse that like shattered part of the tree, which is somewhat precarious, but not impossible.
Sorry. I breathed in too quickly. I would like to. No, I'm gonna need that grade. Fine, I'm just gonna go for it.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. That's
Cool.
Gymnastics.
It's gonna be gymnastics. You do not have wall running, so you're gonna be at a -4.
-4. Excellent. Love that. Good thing nothing affects my finesse, at least.
So Porter's running to Eloise?
Right.
Is he running by me?
Sort of. Yeah, he's like running past you and the Splinter Cat to get to where Eloise is.
We can go at the same time. I think the answer is no, but could I assist? Could I assist with a power like Wall Walker or Super Jump or something?
Not in him getting past the broken part. The broken part is what's causing this test. It's this like splintered, sharp, jagged, like difficult terrain that he's got to like break through or jump over safely. And that's you're on the other side of that, so you can't.
Got it.
He
Okay,
can't.
okay.
You can't really. He's got to get past it first.
Sure, I understand.
Unless you took your turn to run away from the Splinter Cat, get to him, and then help him.
Sure.
Well, that's not very helpful. Do have that. Oh, I got 2 5s, so that's 2 successes.
Okay. You take 2 damage
Sure.
to your armor and 2 damage that is piercing, which I don't know if your armor is gonna soak that. I think your toughness actually soaks that.
My toughness totally soaks that. Yeah, I've got 4.
But your armor does take 2 damage.
No matter what.
Yep.
Okay, I see.
Gus, you like basically like see this thing supercharged and you like pull up, but like it's hard to block electricity as it basically slams into you and shoves you back towards the splintered part of the tree. And Porter like leaps by during that clash of lightning against Gus. His armor his like coat getting a little ripped up as he like breaks through the splinters and then runs past Gus and this creature as it reconstitutes itself, continuing to press in on Gus. But yeah, Porter, you are, that's a quick action for you to get to Eloise.
Perfect, and I'd like to start treating her arm.
Okay. So it's a focused action to begin treating the injury. So you can't do that without doubling down, basically. This turn. You'd have to wait till next turn. Because you used up one of your quick actions.
Yeah, no. I understand why. Sorry, that's not the face. I'm trying to figure out what I should be doing instead. I see Addie shaking her head. What? Sorry, what? Do you have thoughts?
It's fine. It's fine. Do whatever you would do. It's fine. I'm stressing about you doubling down and then not having enough grit and me not having an arm forever. But it's fine if I don't have an arm forever. I can figure something out.
He can twist.
Talented.
He can twist the knife twice, even if he doubles down. He's fine.
So I guess really the question is, I think Porter would run up and he would be like, "Do I save the arm or do I treat the festering wound first?" You're the craftsman. You need to know, but I need to start on one.
It's broken. It's broken, and then also there's lightning, and then there's also it's both fire and numb, and just there's this a lot, and then there's
I'm gonna take care of the
arm.
arm.
Shield. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I can't close.
Do you have one of the dome shields that we were given, or did we use both of those already?
I believe that we use those in Brimstone.
Good. I'm gonna take your shield and I'm gonna hold it up in front of you and prepare to get you treated.
Okay. And you're are you doubling down to start treating the injury now, or are you waiting until?
Right, because I have. Sorry, that's exactly what we were discussing. All right. I'm gonna double down.
Okay. So you can use your focused action on your double downed turn.
But you still have a quick action if you just wanted to like shoot in at the cat also with your gun.
That's fairly smart. Look at you, Eloise. You know you're so much cooler headed in battle than I am. Arm falling off, telling me what to do. All right, and I'm gonna take a
it
freaking.
Won't close is the thing. It just because the grappling hook.
It's kind of a problem. I just want to make sure. Ooh. And it's it's still finesse, so it should be fine, probably. Yeah, I'd like to shoot the Splinter Cat.
Okay.
This is surely gonna go fine, and nobody should be worried.
It adds a negative regardless, so like it's not like as long as it's not like real bad, it should be better.
Does Porter have a light range?
He has
weapon?
his little crossbow thingy, right?
I have. I'm sorry. What are you asking me?
Yeah, so it's a focused action to fire a medium projectile or a medium firearm. So you would need a light projectile or a light firearm.
What I'm firing is Oh, I don't think I still have that crossbow. No, you're right. This is such a great turn, and it's going really well, everyone.
So Porter does not shoot at the Splinter Cat.
Oh my god! I'm so sorry.
And instead he doubles down so he gets the extra turn so he can do the focused action to treat the injury.
Do my two quick actions like come together and I can just actually no, because I'm using you know what, shut the fuck up, Seth.
Seth, we love you and we appreciate you.
Yeah, you know, I get to be the eyes of the brand new audience who has no idea what's going on. Or we're playing after what 5-6 years of me playing this fucking game. I still don't know how to do it.
Man. The audience surrogate.
The audience surrogate. Yeah, exactly.
That means you're the main character.
Porter is the main character.
Like what? He's the button. Remember, I'm the button that holds us all together.
Great.
I can't shoot this motherfucker.
Correct. What I will allow is you were gonna have some negatives given the fact that there's a fight happening right next to you. There's electricity all over the place. The like tree branch is wet and dirty. Eloise is soaked. Like it's not great. But you had a quick action, so I think like you get that shield set up, you kind of like get yourself a little set up. So I'll let you reduce a little bit of the negatives. So you're gonna be trying to treat this injury at a -5.
I appreciate that. -5. All right.
I can't help, can I?
You cannot.
Oh goodness. So I need to get how many? It's reduced by 1.
You get 1 automatic basically because of physician. Right. So you need 5. You have 1 automatically. So you need to roll. You need to achieve 4 successes in this roll. Otherwise, Eloise's arm is going to be forever lost.
Great. And I'm at a -5. You said. Good.
1 for each of the fingers that's on the line.
And I've got 4 grit, right?
Yes, you have 4 grit. And Dex, you have 3 grit now. As Laura says, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Oh, thank you.
God, this as Porter's character card rolls by on the stream, and I remember that he does not have 10 reasoning.
No, he sure doesn't.
Fine, just do good.
Good lord. Okay. Good. I am going to spend 3 grit to go it strong so that I can count these fucking 11s.
Okay.
And that gives me 4 successes.
All right.
God, just the fear in everyone's mind as Seth, you say, I'm gonna spend 3 grit.
Everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's a misfire."
Yeah, right, exactly.
So Porter, you rush in, you drop to your knees, you like move Eloise's like shield up, and you the one emitter is still working, so you tweak that because you know how her armor works, and it like basically pulls away and deconstructs around her arm, so you have like full access to the arm, and you immediately like cut open her sleeve there, and you can actually see the nerve damage like setting in under the skin. Like you can see like it's like there's like broken bone that is like already like a lot of internal bleeding. Like if you didn't get to this thing quick enough, it was going to have to be removed. But you did get to it quick enough.
There's definitely an instant of panic looking at this arm, being like, "I'm already too late. It's already gone." And then another part of me is like, "Shut up and start." And
Yeah.
I dive in and start the operation.
You reconfigure your med kit into something that like is like kind of more handheld, and you immediately like on very key parts of her arm just like like launch in these little like kind of micro little pistons that like get in. It's really painful, Eloise. You feel like 3 or 4 extreme sharp pains as these things launch into you, and then they go to work, and basically like what happens is they extract a lot of like the like proteins that aren't supposed to be where they are, and like the blood and all that stuff, and then they kind of reach out within Eloise's arm and like pull the bones back into place. As like Eloise, it's kind of gross if you look, like stuff is like ejecting itself from like a lot of blood and other like substances are like ejecting out of your arm to try and clean the inside of your arm as these little pistons get to work. And Porter, as soon as you like launch those things in, you then like reconfigure your med kit again, so it's like on your arm, and you like have a little like screen in front of you, and you're like directing them and like changing the levels and stuff, and in that quick time it begins going to work. This does use 4 of your initiative, Porter, which is you have 2 initiative left now, instead of the typical. You usually would be spending 2 for a normal turn, but to treat an injury in combat, it takes 4. So,
but because I have
oh, you have field medic.
Field medic, that is, it should only still cost 2.
Yeah,
right?
you're absolutely right. Yeah. So it happens. It's all taken care of. And you feel like your arm, like that kind of pain reverses again, and that fiery pain that was at your fingertips and your shoulder, that like kind of was like this disconcerting cold in between, becomes a lot of pain really fast, Eloise. And then the last thing Porter does is like press a button, and a bunch of narcotics flood into your arm, and it is now functional and like kind of weird and numb, but like the pain is mostly completely muted. And
as like small flavor, because I do know your armor so well, I'd like for whatever brace there is to just kind of like rearrange your armor and slot into it so that it just kind of like grasps around that arm and holds it in place.
Yeah, absolutely. You also like basically 3D print this brace that you slap onto the arm, and you like press the node on the armor again, and it like forms and like kind of interlaces with the brace, and your armor is intact and your arm is intact, and Porter has done his job.
But my arm is still broken, right?
No, the injury is treated. Your arm works now.
No, I also have. You broke my arm and then you took it. So I still have the fractured bone injury.
Was that your arm, or was that your collarbone or rib cage or something?
you said it was like my shoulder and my arm.
Okay.
I don't really care.
Your
It's
arm is functional. Your collarbone is still broken.
Right.
The 3D print like reforms around the arm and then forms like a sling.
Yeah. That's not normal.
No, this just temporary. Just hold on, okay? We just gotta, fuck this fucking thing up, and then we'll be all right.
Yeah. Okay. It kind of looks like a big cat.
It's a terrifying big cat. That's true. Just
Yeah.
Can you hold your?
Imagine what little kitties look like, though. They must be so cute.
Gus, it is your turn.
Cool. Are the waters below still sort of like moving?
Yeah.
Like I know it was pretty tumultuous.
Yeah. They're still pouring to the south as the floodplain is basically continuing to like drain southward. It's also extremely far below you. Eloise hit a tree branch. What was it? Like 35 feet below?
I
Something
think
like
you
that.
said 50.
50? Was it 50? I don't remember how much.
It's 50, which is the exact maximum of the grappling hook's length. So
I thought. Well, how much damage? How much fall? Oh no, you rolled well on your fall damage. That's how you were able to reduce it. Yeah. Yep.
I also misfired.
Yes. But yeah, and so that was the water. The water itself is a good, at least at certain points of this tree branch, because it's long and there's like different terrain. Probably like a good 80 plus feet below you.
Cool. I would like to sort of put my hands out and take some steps towards the splinter cat. Like, all right, you go and get out of here now, all right? Ain't no one got to get hurt. You just got to get going. And light begins to flood to Gus's hands as I'm going to attempt to put my hands on this splinter cat and look southwards and down into a relatively tumultuous part of the river and cast blink on this splinter cat.
And try to, because you have the transfer power talent.
Power. Yes.
Yeah, transfer power lets you use your somatic powers on things you touch. Well, of course, it doesn't want you to touch it, so let's go ahead and roll an unarmed as you attempt to grapple it, basically.
Sure.
On the unarmed, I'd like to use one of my uses of motivational speaker.
Nice. Because you're only trying to get a hand on it, I will let you... I know that blink is a focused action. I don't think I'm going to require you to... I guess if you roll one success, you're going to have to double down. If you don't roll one net success, you're going to be able to get a hand on it enough that you can blink it.
Sure.
Jeez. Nice.
What do you say, Porter, as you see this thing like kind of step back as it has like buffeted against Gus, and it starts like prowling around, and Gus like makes himself even larger, and this thing's like the parts of its like armored spine that like can move like kind of push up, and like electricity moves from its crown to its tail and back to its crown, and it like kind of gets down and starts circling around Gus as Gus like has his hands up and is circling around him.
I think Porter has to suppress a "What the fuck are you doing, Gus?" And instead of saying that, he says, easy, careful. He still wants to kill us all."
Oh, he didn't want to kill us. He just wants to get out of here. What do you got, Tommy?
I didn't roll. I was too busy enjoying the show.
I don't blame you. It's a great show.
It's a +3, my friend.
Amazing.
That could be extremely useful. I did roll a 12.
I got a 15.
Hey, how many net successes?
It's only one. You're saying I'll have to double down
To land the blink, yeah.
Can I? Feels a little cheap. Can I twist the knife?
No. Twist the knife.
Oh,
Or
I was like, no,
Sorry.
you cannot twist the knife.
Sorry. This is that was me saying no to it being cheap. It is cheaper than doubling down and achieves what you need.
Yeah, so I'll twist the knife on it.
Yeah. So you reach out and the electricity hits your hand. You actually pull that hand back, as you're like, it just wants to get gone, and like instinctively your hand pulls back as it gets jolted with lightning, and then it moves forward and you just reach out with both hands and like grab onto its crown, like grab onto the horns, and as it like gets ready to roar, you just look down and you guys all watch as that light that was on the end of Gus's hand like subverts the golden light of this thing's electricity into its horns, and it like immediately like vanishes in this shrinking reddish orange light, and then reappears half submerged in the like water as it pours, and it's like immediately confused and like trying. Oh, I guess you have to roll. It does get to resist.
I hate to tell on myself, but
Yeah,
it does
you
get a
do have to
warning
roll somatics against me. I think you probably have it though. I got a 9.
Yeah, I got a 12.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So like appears in the water.
Which is even worse for it, because less hits means it takes more damage when it arrives.
It's true. How much damage does it take when it arrives?
4.
Okay.
I mean, I'm less worried about the small amount of damage it's taken from blinking and more about what lives in the water.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you watch as like its electricity like shatters through the water, and you actually see movement in the water, but the electricity that's coursing through seems to make it so that the movement seems to be going away from the Splinter Cat as it rushes way down out of sight. And you do see, like, as you're like kind of pulling Eloise and Porter up, and Dex, you're able to swiftly just swing yourself up onto the branch and help Yaz up. You all see like way far down, rushed down the water. This thing is able to kind of orient itself in the water, and with actual impressive grace move through the water and leap out and land on like a lower branch on a tree really far away from you, and immediately like shakes a lot of the water off. And then you see like a burst of electricity like evaporate all the water, and then it like starts like licking its wounds a little bit and like prowls around out of sight around that tree, seeming not interested in traversing the long distance back to the people that just hurt it so bad.
Dang, I didn't think cats were that good at swimming.
It did just want to go away.
You got him away from us. That's what matters, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't hate us, you know. So I'd hurt it a little bit. It hurt us a little bit. I gave it a chance to leave, and so it left. Ain't an evil thing. It's just instinct.
Aw, take a grit.
Hey, Gus. You were right about the forest.
I wasn't. Well, I guess I was a little right. Elle, how are you doing?
You know, the rain is kind of like soft needles from the sky.
Hey, good job, Porter. It seems like you've done a great job.
Yeah, you know, I might work on the head wounds a little bit. You know, I can fix this one a little later on. Be fine.
The lightning was real strong.
Meanwhile,
okay.
Yaz goes over and starts looking at like the stretch of the branch that is like somewhat unstable, and like seems to be pondering whether or not it's worth trying to make it to the other end. She doesn't say anything. That she's just standing there on the like on the cusp
with Yaz. I mean,
Yeah.
the danger is abated, right? And Porter's a doctor, so like.
Yeah, Porter, if you want to treat another one of Eloise's injuries, go ahead and roll.
I'm gonna treat as many of these wounds that I can. Starting with Eloise's
the
next
fight
one.
is over, but the situation's still like the conditions aren't great still. So we're gonna just make it a -2 because you don't have electricity literally flying overhead.
I have two more injuries. They're both a tier 3.
Class 3. Yeah.
Class
So
3.
So
four successes.
you need to achieve 3 successes within your roll because you get 1 automatic.
Oh, right, that's right.
Yeah, Dex, you walk over and Yaz just kind of like glances at you and goes, "What do you think?"
I guess I could roll, or you could just tell me what I think, Tommy.
The longer you wait to cross, the less secure it becomes.
Gotcha.
And Basically, it is effectively a roll of the dice, no pun intended, to cross this thing without it like giving way under your weight. If you cross over one at a time relatively quickly, the size of it doesn't get smaller, so the footing isn't terrible. It's a little rocky. It's like kind of like crossing over a rope bridge, except for the fact that it isn't secure like a rope bridge actually is. But basically, the alternative, you look around, you see you would have to go all the way back, and then there's other branches that branch way out, because this thing is a pretty long branch connecting two massive trees. So like for you to like find another way to kind of continue heading the way you want, you would spend probably a lot of your daylight just like catching up to what time you lost.
Sure.
Can I sort of, while Porter's like getting out his kit or whatever, can I wander over towards them?
I mean, yeah, you're high. Porter, you turn away and you're talking to Eloise. As you're getting your configuration in place, you're like, okay, it's going to be fine. This is the easy thing.
On you, I can use it on my head, and then we'll be all right.
And Eloise just wanders over to where Dex and Yaz are without you noticing.
I think we have a bridge. We should make a bridge. We have a bridge. We climbed up the bridge when we came up the tree. Should I make another bridge?
Yeah, Yaz like kind of looks and goes, "Hun, that thing won't reach that far. I guess we could use it to stabilize, but we'd have to leave it behind."
I don't think that's true. I think I could do it.
Excuse me?
I could do it. It would be fine. Did you know I'm real good at crafting? I'm so good at crafting.
Yeah, at this point, Porter, you realize Eloise
I'm really
is...
thankful that you didn't lose your arm. I would have felt so bad if I just. Eloise, oh my god! You need to sit down, Al. What?
No, I'm fine. It's all fine. No, I fell once and Dex caught me, so that was,
I need to fix you so that I can fix me. Can you?
Oh, but it's just you can fix you first. That's fine.
You're on a tree branch and you've got a
on
lot
a
of
tree
painkillers.
branch,
and I don't have any painkillers
penis.
yet. Can I just? Would you mind?
What?
Can I just work on this, please?
It's broken.
I know you're broken. That's what I'm here to fix.
I'm not broken. You're broken. It's broken.
Okay. All right.
You should fix it.
Eloise, the distance between here and the next stable limb across the like rickety part is probably 60 plus feet, and you know that the longest retractable ladder and footbridge is 20 feet. So like the one retractable ladder and footbridge that Yaz has is not enough to make it all the way across.
Side note, did we scavenge the boat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I could run a cable across the other side, fasten it on something.
I could make another gondola, but this time not under duress.
We could do the grapple gun.
Oh, well, you got to get it out of. It's still in here. It won't close. My shield won't close. Porter, that hurt. Ow! What?
I know. It shouldn't hurt. That's crazy. You have so many painkillers. Just hold it. Don't, please don't.
Well, it was kind of pinchy. It didn't really hurt. It was just like.
It didn't hurt until you looked at it, did it?
I'm just gonna take the grapple gun and just push it through the shield.
Yeah.
As it falls out the other side.
You fixed it. You're so smart.
I don't think this is long enough. It's close. If we have any other cabling, I've got the tools to fasten a line that hopefully can help us cross in case.
I have so many cubes in my pack.
Yeah, we can make something out of what we got from the boat. Yeah, if you want to expend a machinery cube, you can get 50 more feet of like cable, which is more than enough to attached to the grapple hook to make a line.
We could make a zip line. I couldn't hold on to it.
That's also not a good angle for it.
Okay. I was gonna say I could probably carry Ale down a zip line.
Let me.
Like a backpack.
Okay, I'm taking the grapple gun and I jam it into one side, tighten it in, make a knot, and I run it across the other side. I'm confident this will not fall for me. I'm miraculously light-footed.
Yes. I won't have you roll. If you were maybe the last one to go, I'd have you roll, but you are the first one to traverse this. You are extremely light-footed. You have wall running. It is like, as you get kind of in the middle, like you are like, ooh, this is dangerous, because it like does like kind of like bow and move and stuff, like this massive tree branch that like, you know, there's like it would be really bad if like someone just like sprinted along this or spent too much time on it, but you just move as quick as you can, nice and light on your feet, and you make it over to the other side and you're able to kind of attach this cable.
Hey, Dex, are you sure you didn't used to be a carny or something?
Positive.
It's very impressive. You could definitely take that show on the road if you wanted to.
Yeah,
I'd spend the tickets. You know, right out of the cart.
I'd put down some
But
stories to
you
watch
know,
that.
he was like a real sad orphan. We learned all about it at the peak.
I know, my love. I was just, you know, I wanted to... You're I don't remember what kind of injury it was. I just know it was third class and it is healed. I got 4 successes.
Is it the lightning wound or my broken shoulder?
Whatever one affects your stats in a more positive way. I would say probably the lightning wound, because that sounds terrifying.
You got it.
I sort of want to get like a high school theater massage train going of Porter is healing Eloise and Eloise is healing my armor.
Yeah.
But no, I'm gonna let this happen. I know Elle needs attention first.
Yeah, Eloise, Porter basically just injects you with a bunch of different, like not a bunch, like there's like 2 like injections that he puts into your neck, and you feel that kind of like weird bad feeling that was like on your spine and in your nervous system kind of like settle out. And Porter, you can see those like marks on her neck like fading.
Good. Oh, I don't like splinter cats. I'll say it, you know. It might be an unpopular opinion, but I do not care for them.
I think it was probably just, you know, hungry. And think of how cute the little electricity balls would be.
I can't think about how cute the little kittens would be without thinking of that giant, terrifying antlered face. And it just like zips from one place to another, like it becomes lightning.
Yeah,
That sounds like
the matter conversion is very cool. It's been studied, but no conclusions have been made. They've just sort of done the thing where they're like, manifest, which I find wholly unsatisfying.
That sound it makes is going to haunt my dreams. From one place to another, like.
That's just. I think that's just electricity.
It's not. I don't like it. Sorry,
It's gonna be okay.
I need the. One second.
I can help you. I can help you.
Porter, you get +1 grit from Boo.
Thank you, Boa.
If you sit down and then like maybe hold the mirror up a little bit, I could probably fix it.
Okay. Like this? Good. And I just need to,
you just tell me what to do. I have one good hand.
Okay. All right. What are my negatives here, Tommy?
Still a -2, but it sounds like Eloise might actually be helping you. Oh wait, no, this is you treating your own thing.
It's gonna, that's the thing. I'm
-4.
-4? Sure.
If you're assisting at a -2. Also, while this is all going on, Dex, can you go ahead, now that you're on like the other side, can you roll survival at a -4 for me?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Does my survival kit help?
No, because you're not like actively using it for this. This is kind of just like a passive, like, you know, you're kind of getting the lay of the land on the other side.
I got 4 successes, but
Hey!
it's just very funny because it's 2 1s, a 2, and a 5. So like it's not very good help, but in total, it's pretty
Unopposed test? Hey, I'll take it.
good.
Good. That puts me at what my normal target would be, which I love.
I got a 7.
Okay, cool. I'll deal with that in a second. As soon as we're done with the heal gallery over here. You get the cable though, Dex. You get over to the other side. You get the cable, and you're waiting. Yaz is going to start making her way across. She basically hooks. It's kind of like a zip line, but not like a fast, like we're going super far zip line. More like she's able to like kind of harness herself on this thing and use it so she's not putting her full weight on the tree branch.
And should it totally give way, she's hooked on.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, I did. Yeah. All right. All right. I treat the head wound. I'm gonna deal with the festering wound in a second, but I did misfire.
Porter, why?
I don't know. It's like every roll. It's fucking
It's a
terrible.
statistical wonder.
No, hold on. No, I didn't. Oh my god, I'm so used to rolling 3 dice. No, I only got 120.
Yeah, you're good. You're
I
good.
only got 120 and I rolled 4 dice, so I'm fine. I am fucking. Oh, I was worried.
Jesus.
Okay, no, I just treated the wound. It's fine.
Jesus.
Well done. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
So yeah, you get Eloise situated, and then basically like Eloise holds effectively like a mirror for you to like operate on yourself to treat your head injury. And you're able to kind of like staple and like synthetic skin over that wound and get yourself kind of situated. Dex, you're on the other side. Yaz is unhooking herself and like sending the harness back over. And she is there with you. You're a little bit ahead of her. Like you have a few different tree branches that are pretty easy to like get yourself around to start moving towards the large tree branch that you saw. And Yaz is actually going to, because she rolled a 13 on her survival. She's going to call out to you in a hushed and scared voice. Dex, stop.
Yeah, I stop instantly.
Yeah, you're like moving, you're like about to like move on to another tree branch. And then she goes, back up slowly. Very slowly. You're muted, Addie, but I did hear you in the other room shout no.
Yeah, I do exactly as she says.
You get like a little bit, and you see she is staring at a tree branch that is ahead of you. Just staring. It, from what you can tell, it's just a tree branch that you were going to walk onto. You see nothing unsturdy about it at all. You see nothing wrong with it in any way, but she is staring at it like terrified. And she doesn't blink at all as you start moving back. And like you kind of get a couple like lengths back. There's like a couple branches now between you and the one she's staring at, the one that you were about to move on to. And she like doesn't seem to exactly know what to do, but she's just staring at this thing, being like, we got to find another way. I don't know. I don't even know if we can. I don't even know if it's hungry, we're fucked.
What am I looking at?
You ever heard of a hide behind before?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like staring at the branch. You look at this branch, from what you can tell through and through, this is just a tree branch. But she seems to have seen something that you didn't. And she goes, that ain't a real branch. That's a hide behind. You touch
It's been
on
a great game, guys.
you touch that thing, it's gonna strike. I mean, ain't no way it doesn't know we're here. It's just waiting. We got to keep looking at it, and we got to find. I mean, the thing is, if we move, they're fast as hell. These things.
There's no rules that let me quick draw a hide behind, right?
Correct. There's no challenging a hide behind.
uh Okay, so I hide behinds are not like only here in the Heartwood, right?
Right.
Okay.
You're more familiar with them in less like jungle-esque areas. But yeah, any place where there's like wooded vegetation at all is a place where hide behinds tend to hunt. You know enough about them to know what a general person would know, which is they basically can look exactly like trees.
Yeah.
You've never heard of them like looking like tree branches, but then again, everything in the Heartwood Forest is so big, it kind of makes a little bit of sense logically. But basically, like what the thing about a hide behind is they're extremely fast. If you look away from them, they are fast enough that they can immediately reposition and become a different tree in the forest. People talk about like being hunted by hide behinds, and like, you know, basically like drunks will go out and just like fall asleep under a tree and then like die because they fell asleep by a fucking hide behind without realizing it. Like it's like they are these terrifying creatures that like basically have the ability to fully, in every single way conceivable, mimic a tree until they want to reveal their true form, at which point they strike, to the point where you haven't actually heard a consistent report of what a hide behind looks like, because everyone who says that they've glimpsed a hide behind and survived, they all say something slightly different.
Okay. I think it makes sense that as part of my like wilderness survival training, I would have a sense like how dangerous this thing is to fight, because it seems to me, based on the situation we are in, it has to know we're here. If it knows we're here and we look away and it wants to eat, it's going to come for us. So we are going to be engaged with this thing, and it's only a matter of, am I going to shoot it right here, or is there something that can be done to better prepare us for a fight that is, I think, in Dex's mind, all but guaranteed right now.
So as far as how hard it is to fight, they're pretty deadly. A lot of what your training would say, without you having to roll, a lot of what your training would say is that they rely a lot on the fact that they can attack something that's completely unaware. Yeah. Luckily he has rolled higher than the 12 I rolled on my hiding for this thing.
Okay. Yeah.
You guys
so
hired
I
a guide. She knows this place.
Yeah, so I think I say to Yaz, sort of like mimicking her volume level, because I don't have a sense of if this thing can hear / understand. Probably not understand. A thought that Dex has as he starts whispering. Okay, Yaz, you're gonna clip back onto the harness. You're gonna zip line back over to the group. You're gonna tell them what's going on. And then you're gonna give me a signal that you've done that, preferably auditory.
All right. You got to look at it, though. You got to keep looking at it. The moment you look away, that branch is gone.
I promise you, I will not look at anything else.
And she like takes a couple of seconds back and she goes, "You're looking at it right now, right?"
Yes.
Okay. And then she like turns and like not like scurries and like sprints away, but like she like hastily like but in like as calm as she can muster, like makes her way back over, clips on, starts moving her way over. You're staring at this tree branch. I need a discipline roll from you to not blink.
Okay. Man, this would suck if something's happened to someone who's not trained at remaining still or staring.
I slapped the water. You think I can't handle this?
So it's an unopposed roll, so I'm going to give you negatives. We'll put it at a -5.
That's still 4 hits.
Cool. Dex, cool as a cucumber. You're just waiting there, steadily staring at this thing.
I've trained a lot of my life to just stare at something that is about to try and kill me.
So you're just straight up staring at this tree branch that you've been told is a hide behind. And Yaz zips over, gets to you, Porter, as you're like finishing the work on your head. And she goes, all right, slight complication. There's a hide behind on the other side of this branch. I don't know if you know what a hide behind is, but they're fast, stealthy hunters. But they don't strike unless you ain't looking. So at least at first. And Dex has his eyes beaten on it. He wanted me to let you know that that's the situation he's in. I'm gonna go ahead and call out to him now. But
All right.
if I have a read of this man at all, he's about to clear leather with that smoke wagon, and we gotta be ready to help him out.
What branch is it? Can I see it from here?
Sort of. Like she basically points. There's a few branches. You can barely actually see Dex. He's almost all the way around the tree. But like you can see what might be one of the branches. Basically, this thing's gonna have like at least excellent cover against you if you try to take a shot at it right now.
Yeah, no, I don't want to shoot it right now, but I am gonna bring my gun up, just so that I'm ready to shoot something if need be. And I'm gonna say, I knew I should have talked about hide behinds on the way here. This is my fault. I knew it. I made this happen.
Yeah, Dex, you hear kind of muffled, so she's not like screaming extremely loud. She goes, all right, Mr. Bailey, make your move.
Yeah. I shoot this hide behind twice.
Cool. So let's go ahead, you and me, really quick, just roll initiative, because as you're drawing your gun, if the hide behind's quick enough, it might be able to strike as you like get your guns out.
Sure.
I'll give you a +2 to this though.
Okay.
Just because you are like, it doesn't seem to be aware, like if it's aware that you're aware, it seems to be totally trusting in its camouflage.
It's gotta live in this weird space where things will look at it sometimes.
Yeah.
Now he does still benefit from my forewarned, right?
Yeah, this would be the first round of combat.
My next question is, okay, good. It's the first round of combat with a new creature, therefore he gets that benefit as well.
Yep.
Great. Awesome.
I still love the idea of Dex challenging it.
You are trying to get an initiative higher than 7, Dex, to be able to fire both your guns before this thing attacks you.
I have an 11.
Cool.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, you're a gunslinger. You fucking quick draw at this tree branch.
Often in like exactly this situation, it's just usually another person with a gun.
All right, yeah, make your attacks. I'm gonna go ahead and just bamboozle you twice for this first attack.
Okay.
I have a 13.
I don't think there's a way. No, there's no way to make it work. My high is an 11.
Okay. So let's go ahead and roll your second attack because you get to, and then I'll narrate what happens. Oh, this is not as good a roll. I'm looking at a 10 here.
That's rough for you. I got a 12, a 13, and an 11.
Okay, how much damage?
You know how much damage it is, man.
Is it
24 damage, no armor.
cool? Yeah. So what happens, Dex, is you're looking at this tree branch, and one thing you notice, like as you're sitting there, is that it doesn't quite move perfectly with the breeze. Like there's like a rush of wind and it does move, but it's like it's reacting to the branches around it as opposed to being actually swayed by the wind. And that's when you're like, yep, that's a hide behind. And you whip out both guns, you fire one.
I think the first shot is almost a sort of like, I don't know what part of this I'm currently aiming at. This might be nothing. I'm gonna have to just find out what this thing actually looks like.
The part that you shoot at is actually like what happens is you watch as this thing immediately, like in that split moment, your trained gunslinger eyes are able to watch this happen in a way that most people aren't able to perceive. As you whip out your gun and as the gun slides out of the holster and you start aiming it out and you cock back the hammer and that like hum of hard caliber energy begins to like warm up the engravings, you get your gun out and you fire that energy moving towards the barrel, lighting up that Gaurau down the barrel with red fire as it launches out. And this tree branch like molds and warps, like parts of the like actual air are being folded over and wrapped around as this thing reshapes. It's not like the tree branch itself is morphing. It's like reality is morphing around the tree branch and shrinking it in and twisting it into the shape of this thing that is holding onto the side of the tree. It's massively tall with hard, terrifying, wooden, thin, like long limbs. The one that is attached, it's what could be considered as its arm, is attached to the tree with this scythe-like end at the end of the arm. Its face like a skull made out of wood. These like snake-like branches twisting and bending, like in like a couple actual almost buds of like unflourished flowers up in its head as this thing like warps up and your shot just whizzes by because you were shooting at the body of a branch that wasn't there. And then your second shot fires clean and hits this thing, shattering part of its like skeletal like torso, breaking. And you actually watch as like it looks like you hit flesh, but then what flies away is bark. Just so anyone's wondering, we also have art for the hide behind right here.
I also really hate that the picture was blurry for a second and then it became really crisp. It was very much what you just described. I'm very upset about it.
Yeah. It looks like something straight out of one of the episodes of Courage the Cowardly Dog I turned off halfway through.
And +1 grit to Dex from Argatlon says the Texas hide behind had not cleared leather when it made one fatal slip. It tried to match the slinger with the big iron on its hip. Also +1 grit to Porter from Packwalk.
I just realized what that was with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip.
Okay. I need everyone else to go ahead and roll initiative.
What the hell am I gonna do to this thing?
I double down if it makes a difference.
Okay, Dex is gonna go ahead and double down.
Should we still roll?
We'll wait. Yeah. Dex might just be able to fire off a couple more shots before this thing clears.
I like rolling dice.
Yeah, you can roll initiative. We just don't need to count it up until after Dex is done.
I got a 12.
Okay.
I have an 11.
All right.
It's unfortunately only 8 damage. I actually think I will twist the knife to make it 16.
Okay.
Because any good wilderness survivalist will tell you animals got toughness, yo.
Yeah. Your gun blares out again. You just fire again.
Oh, okay, that's what you're looking for. You'd like to see that on the dice.
Ooh. Okay, I'd have to get really creative to be able to count this. But it depends on what your highest is.
My highest is a 13.
Okay, yeah, I will get creative in order to do this then. Because right now I have a 6. But what I can do is spend all of my grit in 2 instances. 3 and then, oh wait, no, not all of it. I have 1 grit left. It's 3 and then 2. To both go it strong and play to the gallery. Which allows me to count this 14.
Well, okay. We did our best.
You're at 6 grit though, yeah?
I'm at 2 grit.
Thank you. I missed one of your expenditures. So yeah, basically what happens is you hit it with that one shot, it hits it in the ribs and like it breaks off and like falls down as like what looks like bark. And then in an instance, it's on the tree branch with you. It doesn't like appear there. It's not like it teleported. You see the movement. The movement is just insanely fast as it leaps off of the tree branch or the tree side it's on onto one of the neighboring branches and then leaps with its massively long legs right onto you. Like pretty much anyone else watching this, it probably looks like it teleported next to you. But what you see is an extremely like disconcerting blur of movement as this thing's like and appears right in front of you, and you fire off one more shot and you like hit it in its skull, breaking off a bunch of the branches over it, like off of its head. And then your second shot, it like immediately like drops down and like grabs onto the tree branch. So your second shot just flies like right where its head was and isn't there anymore. And now, yeah, everyone go ahead and roll initiative.
Excellent.
None of you are going to be able to get, even if you beat this thing in initiative, with the exception of maybe Gus with Blink. I don't think any of you can get to where this thing is. So Gus, I think you're the only one who's the most important for me to know what you rolled for initiative.
Do we get the benefits of?
You
Yes.
do? Yeah.
So forewarned gives you all of my benefits, which is a quick thinker, which is a +1 to the target. Ready to go, which gains you 1 reliability on your test, and then finger on the trigger. So this is our first round of combat. You get a +2 to your score after you roll.
Cool. Then, if it's important for you to know what I've got is an 11.
Cool. So Gus, if you want to blink, that is the only way that you can get to where Dex is before this hide behind goes.
Super jump?
No. I mean, it'd be hard. You might be able to. It's not guaranteed, but you might be able to. But it would be a pretty hard jump for you to make it, and also probably would take up most of your turn. Though I guess you have a free punch.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you have to. It's just you are literally the only one who could do something before this hide behind takes a swing at Dex.
Heck, I didn't know how I was gonna get across these wires, anyways. Yeah, I'll blink on over there.
Okay.
I'm too big for wires.
Okay, go ahead and spend the shine for because you will go before the hide behind. And go ahead and spend the shine for blink, roll somatics, and let me know how you did.
Yeah, I did pretty good. I got 4 successes.
So that's only 1 damage, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you just feel like an ache as like basically the luminescence courses through your body. You all watch, you see this thing, you all can kind of see it from where you are. but it's moving extremely fast. And it moves into position next to Dex, drops down, hugging the tree branch. And then Gus, in that moment, you close your fists and you all watch that red-orange energy rush up and just consume Gus. His body disappears and appears behind the hide behind right next to Dex.
Hey, Dex.
Welcome to the party.
Hey, thanks. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. As you like say that, you're like, hey, Dex. He's like, welcome to the party. And then you stop looking at Dex as this thing's entire face is suddenly staring at you as it stands up and twists to like regard you. And you just throw that punch.
And our gracious host.
Important to note, Dex has not taken his eyes off of or blinked the entire time.
Oof. Okay. All I get's a 10.
Okay. I only have a 9 actually.
All right. Well, that is 6 damage, all piercing. Or no, because I know it's a little late, but it's an offensive turn for me. If that's all right.
Your battle stance? Yeah, that's fine. It's fine.
So it's 7 damage, 6 of which is piercing.
Okay.
And is Blink a focused action? I forget where that ended up.
Blink is a focused action. So you blink over and you get your 1 free punch in. You clock this thing right in the face. It feels like you punched a tree, which like is not the worst you've like, that's fine. You've done like, you've punched like logs that you've set up in the farm and stuff like, but like it's tough.
Without wrapping my fists.
It's tough, right? Like it's like, well, you got your gauntlet, but like, you hit this thing and like it like stands against the blow as you hit and like its face cracks and splinters like as if you punched wood. And you can go ahead and roll your punish cowardice attack because it's its turn and it is going to leave.
All right. That's fine. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, what's it got?
I have to remember how many times Dex shot it at 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you punched at it. So it can only count this 9.
Yeah, then I'm gonna spend 2 grit to play the gallery. So I can count my 16.
Okay.
And so the 16, 13, and 11 all go through.
How much damage is
That's
that?
21 damage, 6 of which is piercing.
So this thing turns and appears right in front of you. You throw a punch and you clock it in the face. It actually like cracks and pulls back like as it pulls back, and then it rushes by you. It almost knocks you off to the side. But instead what you do is grab onto like those branches and they snap and break like you're grabbing onto dry twigs. But when you do that, it like kind of still pulls its head back and you like spin it around and clock it in the face again. And then you just like poof, like punch it 2 more times and the face breaks apart. And every time it's like what you're seeing is like what looks like bone. And as you punch it, it feels like you're punching like it doesn't. I said it felt like punching wood, but like you feel that it is like a creature you're punching. Like it moves like an animal when you hit it. Like it's tough like wood, but like it still feels like you're hitting something that has like organic matter to it. But then what happens is breaking off of the punch just looks like wood as it splinters off that way. And you clear this thing's, and it's like half of its skull face breaks, and this dark, shadowy, like nothingness appears behind it. And then it like rushes out, raising both of its pincers up, and you just like grab it and throw it. And you throw it over Dex, and it hits the tree and shatters into like 1,000 twigs, and then falls down into the water below.
Yeah, no, there ain't nothing instinct about that. That one's no. That one's fine. That one's fine to do whatever. And did you see that thing? Were you looking at it?
I was.
Ooh. I didn't like that one. That's the. I thought for a second that might be the man gets it. What gets in your lungs, but thankfully, I think we caught a break.
Dex is laughing in character.
As Eloise and Porter and Yaz are able to traverse this terrain over to where Dex and Gus are and get on your way back towards the flagstone, this is where we're going to take our break. So I have 10:04 on the clock. We're going to make it about a 15-minute break. So we're going to see you guys around 10:19 Central, 10:19, 10:20. Refresh your drinks, use the bathroom, decide what terrible thing might happen to them next in the Heartwood Forest. Whee!
Throw some Gus's in the chat for that punching that fucking terrifying creature. Jeez.
It's good shit. It was good shit.
Gus is the MVP of the first
That's
half
what he
here.
did.
Look, big animals show up and Gus just hits them real hard. All right, we'll be right back, guys. hello. We are back. Sorry for the slight delay. All of us lost track of time. Hello. If you were just joining us at the break, our drifters are in the Heartwood Forest seeking out the guild hall of the Legionnaires of Astoria. They got a bit swept off course as there was a flash flood that took their boat off the river. They are now moving through the treetops along massive, huge branches that connect the trees of the Heartwood Forest. And along their journey, they were accosted by both a splinter cat and a hide behind, which they made really ultimately relatively short work of, as they all kind of made their way across this kind of dangerous area and move out of the splinter cat territory. Porter, I believe there might have been some more injuries for you to treat, which basically,
Yeah.
you guys, if you want to, you basically have two options. You can make much less progress today and like set up camp like pretty much immediately after Yaz says we're out of splinter cat territory, or you can move a little bit further and then set up camp, and then Porter treats injuries.
Porter essentially is going to defer to Yasmin on this. This is her territory, at least relatively. Does she think we should get out of danger, or does she think we should be?
We shouldn't treat anymore. We should keep moving before anything else gets to us. But then once we're out of the splinter cat territory, which now that I'm looking around, I think we're on the edge of. We could probably set up camp and you could get to work, or we'll still have a little bit of daylight left. We could make some more progress if y'all are feeling up to it.
Fair enough. Well, let's keep moving now, and we can decide later.
All right, we have a couple days before we make it back to the flagstone this way, but this will be the safest now that we're out of that territory. My guess is the hide behind was picking off what the splinter cat weakened up.
It needs to do that. I guess, any less expended effort is worth it, but that didn't feel like it could have made short work of us if it really wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, hide behinds are hunters of opportunity more than anything. They go a long time without eating, and they wait until they have a prey that they can just pounce on that is completely unaware of them. Usually what they do is they run. You guys were able to take care of this one before it got out of there.
And cheers to you, Gus, and Dex for doing the most impressive staring competition I've ever seen.
I mean, it saved our fucking hide, because otherwise what would have happened is we would have had been looking over our shoulder from here to Flagstone. But it's done, and they're pretty solitary hunters, so I think we're clear of that. And the splinter cat got bite down the nose real hard, so we should be good.
Hey, great. All right,
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's move.
Yeah. So, Yaz gets you out of Splinter Cat territory. You still have a little bit of daylight left. Do you want to keep moving past until basically nightfall to set up camp, or do you want to extend your journey back to the flagstone in order to treat your injuries now?
We are on a time-sensitive mission here.
All right, let's keep moving. What you notice following Yaz through the Heartwood is she actually has a pretty extreme comfort with traversing the land of the Heartwood at this height. Like, you guys are extremely high up in the air. You're over like 100 feet up in the air, sometimes way more depending on what she says. Right? You like get to a tree, she puts up her ladder and footbridge, you go up even higher, closer to the actual canopy. You move along branches that way, she moves down. She doesn't seem to know this specific area really well, but she kind of chooses your path with a skill and acuity that like tells you that she has traversed parts of the Heartwood in this way a lot. As she kind of like brings you guys never even get close to the ground. And at the point that like it starts to get dark enough that she says you should set up camp, the water is continuing to flow southward. It's happening with a lot less force, and it definitely has receded quite a bit. You can actually see some vegetation coming out of the water as it gets closer to the actual ground. And as you guys kind of are setting up camp on like one of these larger tree branches, Yaz just says, yeah, at this rate, we should be back to the flagstone, pretty close to the canyon it carves through the Heartwood, by probably late afternoon tomorrow. At that point, from what I can tell, we got to go into that canyon. So, Ms. Reynolds, if you're fixing up people's gear, I suggest you save some for us to put together some canoes. You're not transmitting, Eddie.
Okay. What does that actually entail? Is that like is that
For you
what kind of water vehicle is that maybe?
So she keeps saying canoes, so nothing that necessarily requires an engine or anything. So in order to like whip together just some like basic canoes, it would be 3 or 4 machinery cubes per canoe.
Okay. I could heal one person's armor.
I've got 9 machinery cubes, if that helps.
I can heal more than one person's armor. Thank you, Porter. That's so nice.
Yeah, I thought it might be helpful.
Oh, what do they have in them? And I like start rooting through your bag to like look at like the cubes. This one has so much wire in it.
Yeah, my armor needs some help. If we're doing that.
Sure. Has it been long enough that the bad luck is worn off yet?
That's long lasting, right?
It is.
Yeah. At this point, as you guys set up camp, the bad luck is gone.
Thank gosh.
Good.
Okay.
Also, the narcotics are wearing off, and your hand
they
is
are
just
wearing off. Yeah, no. I imagine that was in transit, that conversation.
I am gonna work on my festering wound as she does that as well.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys.
Yeah.
It's still a -4, right?
No, now that you've kind of set up camp, you're not going to be at a -4, just a -2 to treat yourself, no minus to treat other people.
Lovely.
I gotta look at something real quick. I have this new very cool tier 4 talent that might help, maybe.
Oh.
So I think it's only for crafting, unfortunately. It doesn't look like it is for also the other parts of mechanics. Okay, that's fine. Oh, well, I'm sorry, guys. That first run is only 7 hit points to your armor. Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean that's a bunch of it. I'll be all right, I think.
Okay. I think I could probably. How much is left?
About 4, I think. There's four little spots.
Oh, that's easy peasy. I think we can do that real quick. I spend 3 grit.
To not misfire, I'm fixing Gus's
No
armor.
reason. Don't ask. Just grit and be thankful.
Wow. But I do get the needed hit. So
Cool. So Gus's armor is fully repaired. You've spent 2 machinery cubes.
And nothing bad happened.
And nothing bad happens.
Thanks, Elle. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of
Hey,
course.
how are you feeling?
Well, my shoulder's still sort of real broken, but like other than that, I'm okay.
Okay, great. I thought for a second your arm might be bad.
Oh, no, I think it was. I mean, it's a little hazy because Porter did give me quite a bit of medication. So it's all a little hazy, but I do think that it was very close to just not being an arm anymore, which would have been sort of, I think, maybe exciting, but also like very inconvenient at the time. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Good job, Porter.
yeah. He's doing some real good work.
Yeah. Well, so are you. Thanks, El. I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. Is there anybody else that needed fixing up with their armor?
Porter does, absolutely.
How'd you do on treating your head wound, Porter?
It is so the head wound was what I healed the first time round, and then I treated the festering wound this time, which is also all better.
Hey!
And he'd like to move on to Eloise's injury. Nobody else has an injury, right?
I still have exhausted, which is a class 2 injury.
And we haven't rested it out. All right.
No. Life in the trees, the way you are doing it, is not very restful.
But you should get Eloise before you get mine. Hers is more severe.
Sure, absolutely. And that one's still just 3 successes, right, with the talent that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And no negatives?
No, not to treat other people at this point.
Yep. That's all healed up for you, Eloise.
Thank you.
And can I go ahead and roll for Dax as well?
Before you do, let me just fix your stuff up real quick.
Oh, thanks for that.
Yeah, of course. Let me spend 3 grit.
Huh?
Oh
to
my
reduce
god.
that grave misfire.
Grave
gracious.
misfire to a
Oh my
normal
lord.
misfire?
I rolled 2 20s, 18, 19, 18. And so then I
Ooh.
re-rolled, and I re-rolled it into an 18.
It's because I didn't get that one misfire, and I missed I now.
It's because you gave me bad luck.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Wait, but you don't have bad luck anymore.
It
Quite
doesn't matter.
literally.
I still rolled 2 20s. And
That's
there were no
weird.
successes.
Save those to roll against your players this weekend.
Okay, so you
It is
got
a regular
no successes though.
I got no successes, but I do automatically heal 3.
Yeah, 3 hit points goes back to Porter's armor.
Oh,
Porter, your armor also becomes
no. I've worked so hard. Don't you do it.
standard quality, which
How
means the maximum armor points it has is reduced by 1.
Great.
No.
Is there anything else that does?
That's, I believe, it.
That's it.
That's
What
it.
if I just like jumped into the water instead accidentally?
Well,
Could we do that?
three more machinery cubes will just make that armor excellent quality again, but it won't restore any armor to it.
Goodness.
What do you mean it won't restore?
It won't restore any armor points. The integrity stays
sure.
the same
Change
for
it
now.
from- Yeah.
Like it only has, it
No,
doesn't heal the armor points. It just makes it excellent
If I
quality again.
remember correctly.
Actually, is it 3? It might not be 3. It's heavy armor though, right?
It is.
Yeah, so it's 3. You need 3 machinery cubes to make heavy armor that's standard quality back into excellent quality. So right now your
Why
maximum is
isn't
11.
your heavy armor on your character on your character sheet. I can't see it.
Oh, because I haven't updated my character sheet in a long time. Sorry. What do you need to know? It's on the one I sent y'all, the JPEG, but it's not on my online.
I'm almost 100% positive that it is full. No, it's probably fine. It's probably fine. That's an old rule. Never mind. Everything's fine.
So you healed 3, right? And then
I
downgraded
healed
it.
3. It downgraded to standard quality, and then I spent 3 machinery cubes. Before you even know it, it's hard to do this with one hand. Turns out, it just fix it. It is fine.
Okay, it's back to excellent quality. It still has only
It
healed
has the
3.
missing. Yeah.
And I spent another one.
Let me know how many I do. Do I just give you all the machinery?
You're just gonna help me with the supplies for the canoes, and that's fine.
All right, fair enough.
All right, Dex, do you dare?
My armor is fine.
Wonderful.
Okay.
I'm rolling for Dex's injury is the last thing I do before I need to get some feckin' sleep tonight.
Yeah.
And that is 5 successes, so I'm sure you're fine.
Yeah, that fixes up one of Dex's injuries.
Only what I have.
Okay, cool.
Brilliant.
So with let me just go ahead and roll. I'm gonna roll basically, this is the luck of the draw, whether or not that your situation is good enough that you can benefit from a full rest, or if you all are just getting a breather off of this.
Actually, it doesn't help me. Either way,
I would love a
actually
full
am
rest.
You all get a breather off of this.
Well, but because of convalescence, you still heal an additional 2 hit points on our breather.
Yep. So those of you with shine regain 2 shine and 4 hit points.
That's so little shine. I need more shine.
It's rough out here. Look, Yaz seems pretty good at traversing, but you guys don't seem to have like the gear necessary to create a like camp that feels like you're not just like laying on like hardwood on an incline that sways with the wind. Like, it's not good for anyone. Like, Dex, you are the closest to comfortable.
I was gonna say, I think I actually have nothing to recover. Like, mechanically, there's no difference between a
Dex
breather
gets
and
a
Can I
rest.
just say, like, this is fine for me.
Dex is the only one who's sleeping soundly tonight. Other people, you wake up randomly when like the wind cuts particularly rough, or you hear weird sounds in the forest, or like you just wake up because your like arm has gone numb because you were laying badly on the hardwood. Like, it's just not great. None of you are accustomed to this type of living. It's bad. It's surprising that you're able to do it at all because you're on an actual tree branch, but ultimately it's just no one's comfortable in this situation. Except Dex, who gets a good night's sleep.
If only we had the pit stop big top, we'd be totally fine on this damn tree branch.
And then you wake up the next day and Yaz continues to guide you along these various intertwining tree branches. Until eventually you get to a part where it's very clear that you've returned to the river, because the water is very mad, because a lot of it is flowing one way and some of it is flowing a different way. As the water has receded enough that like it's basically not a ton of water that is heading southward, and a lot of water that is heading westward along the flagstone. And so like the flagstone itself is pretty rapid at this point. Not like terrible because it's not a bunch of rocks, but basically Yaz did guide you to the point where you can see the rocky terrain starting and the part where the flagstone kind of begins to carve this canyon through the Heartwood. It's this like really weird situation where you see large rocky terrain still underneath the canopy of these massive trees. And then there's some parts of the rocky terrain that does poke above the canopy, way far and way above you.
And there's no chance that it would be possible or easier to traverse like the side of the canyon to a point where the water is calmer.
For you, yeah.
Yeah, no, I already know the answer to can I do that?
Yeah. For you, absolutely. For everyone else, no, not at all.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we climb down and build canoes.
I don't like to look at this water. Are we gonna be all right?
Well, how many of you feel at home on a boat?
I mean, on a kind of a bigger boat, but I've sailed before.
All right, so someone with Porter, someone with me.
I've used a canoe before.
And someone with Dex. Or you know what? I can go alone. But honestly, someone should probably come with me.
Yeah, I'm happy to be a +1.
All right, so what? Porter on his own? It takes two to paddle. That's why I thought maybe me by myself.
Oh, right.
Honestly, if the four of you feel good in a canoe, I wasn't gonna mention it because I don't think it's possible for the rest of you. That's workable for me, and Dex points to like the canyon wall.
Of course it is.
I mean, if you want to play catch up, we're gonna be moving faster than you can pull off, I bet.
Well, put me in a canoe by myself. If it gets bad, I can find another way.
All right.
Wait,
So-
Porter, aren't you a... Wait, Porter, didn't you sail?
Yeah, that's what I said earlier.
Yeah. Or I don't know. It's whatever. I felt like you might be pretty at home.
Oh, you
right?
know, like I can try it, but you know, if I had to say exactly how much,
How about this? Someone goes with Dex,
So.
someone goes with Porter. These waters are comfortable for me. I don't need help.
All right, I'll go with Dex.
Cheers.
All right. Follow my lead. L, if you have the requisite 12 machinery cubes to make 3 canoes.
I do need 6 more.
Only 6? Sure, you got them.
Also, what would it be for a glider?
Like something you could fly in this terrain?
Yeah.
You would need a powered glider to fly in this terrain, which would take you time.
Unless I had quick fix, which I do.
No,
and I'm a master crafter.
So this.
Please.
So Yaz has spent enough time like just chatting with you guys idly. Like this canyon is long. Your quick fix glider would break before you could reach the end of this canyon. So you'd be rolling the dice on whether or not the castle was right around the bend.
But it might be. And then how cool would that be? Right, I never get to do anything cool. I haven't flown this whole time except for in a dumb helicopter.
I mean, if you want to make a powered glider, you could.
No, we're in a rush. Eloise is moping. Yeah, no, I make our terrifying 2-man C2 canoes. Everything is fine.
That's probably fine.
I'm in the back.
Only takes 10 machinery cubes and 4 tech cubes to make a powered glider. And you could do so in a day and a half if you roll well enough.
No, we're in a hurry.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, but it seats like 2.
It does seat 2, and you could cut corners to make it even less than a day and a half. You could make it three quarters of a day.
It doesn't change how many seats it got, though.
Yeah. But if you felt more comfortable flying, basically, was my...
Basically, it was like 2 sailors and a pilot.
Or a jetpack for 6 machinery cubes and 4 tech cubes.
Okay, but that I can make. I have 4 tech cubes.
I have 11 tech cubes.
That's a 1-seater, but it's up to you
I only
guys.
need
Yaz is suggesting canoes because that's what Yaz knows. But like, as soon as you start being like, well, hold on, let's like take inventory. Can we make an air vehicle? Yaz goes, you can do whatever you want. You guys have the timetable, but
It sounds like we don't have enough machinery cubes to both make an air vehicle and then also have enough canoes for the people who cannot get into the air vehicle.
We actually, well, I mean, the thing is that we actually...
I thought it was 4 cubes a canoe.
It's
Mhm.
4 cubes a canoe.
Mhm.
Porter, how many cubes do you have?
I gave you 6
Machinery
and I have
cubes.
3 more.
You have 3 more.
So 9 total and then 11 tech.
Oh no, I can still make that work because I'm very cool.
you have original design.
Yeah, I do.
It's whatever you like, love.
Original design means you can make a canoe with 3 machinery cubes.
Okay. So, okay, here, let me just put it to you real quick because I don't really know. Like, the risk is that we have a 5th person and only 2 people who feel like exceptionally competent sailing. So I thought that like I have the ability to make an air vehicle as well, if that felt better. But also I could just make 3 canoes and we don't have to discuss it anymore. It'll take less time to do the canoes.
It depends on how long it would take for us to actually find where we're going, right? Because you could probably, I would hope, spot it from the air better, if that helps at all. I don't know. You've got talents, the rest of us don't, so
Well, I can quarter the time it takes to make something.
If you cut corners, yeah.
No, not if I cut corners.
Oh, do you also have Master Crafter?
Yeah, I just got it.
Holy crap. Yeah, so even without cutting corners, you can quarter the time. So it's 3 days normally per roll, which becomes 18 hours for you per roll if you don't cut corners. It becomes 9 hours for you per roll if you cut corners and mastercraft it.
I want to do what's safest. I just want to do what's safest.
I don't know. I don't know what's safest. They all
Yeah,
come with
same.
dangers.
How do you feel about sailing?
I have been in a canoe before on my own. It was not on a river of this size, but I know how a canoe works.
It sounded to me like a bit like having someone in the air, maybe you, Eloise, might be worthwhile. It's one less canoe we have to worry about steering down this honestly treacherous water.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be 9 hours, so it would delay us a little bit.
I think if you can build a jetpack, that's better. Because you have to land a powered glider, speaking from experience.
I wouldn't mind being in the air. I suppose I have been in the air more than I've been on a boat. But
You seem
y'all
like
have
a
been
tough
present-
guy. You can just help me out, she says, slapping you on the
Alright.
shoulder.
Y'all have been present for all the times I've both been in a boat and all the times I've been in the air. So
I'll take Gus.
I'm worried
Alright.
about the glider because it potentially presents challenges in where you set down and where the river goes, which means we're a bit at the mercy of the terrain.
I don't think a glider's the way to go.
I mean, I could make a jetpack. That's fine. It would also take 9 hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
well, then that's
The jetpack seems better.
Okay.
All right, you get to
yeah,
work
so
on that. I'll
make
put
the-
together the canoes.
Okay, I give her the stuff for the Well, no, I need to make it so we can save the.
Okay, she'll
Stuff.
assist you then. If you're
Yeah,
gonna
okay.
if you're gonna work on it together, she'll assist you.
Okay. So
You get
With
a +1 on your jetpack because the canoes don't actually require a roll.
okay, great.
They just take time. So you're just adding time because you can't work on 2 things at once.
What is the class? So how much do I have to? I have to get 6 hits. Is that correct?
Unless you're cutting corners, which if you're taking 9 hours, you are cutting corners.
Oh
I
yeah,
believe with Master Crafter, there's no downside to cutting corners.
correct. So yeah, so I do cut corners, and then I just need 5.
No, cutting corners
need
cuts it in
3.
half. You need 3.
Okay, well I got 5. So
You're good.
okay.
So 9 hours later, it's not quite. Basically, honestly, what happens is you guys finish crafting out 2 canoes and a jetpack, and then Yaz recommends that everyone gets a good night's sleep before you go out. And honestly, because you are taking the time to wait for daylight, unless you guys want to go when you don't have great daylight, if you're following Yaz's recommendation, everyone can get a rest.
Oh, cool.
You're still in the treetops, but you have literally just you waste a bunch of hours basically that you could be traveling in suboptimal conditions, and Yaz recommends against that.
We spend hours resting and recuperating. That's not a waste. Self-care.
Exactly.
It's important.
And you all
Somebody
wake
knows
up.
their way around, tells you to make camp. You make camp.
The dawn breaks on the third day, and
we all look to the east.
and everyone looks to the east. You see water rushing westward. You realize you got to go that way, and then you lower the canoes down. Gus, you join Yaz, and then Porter and Dex get in the other one.
Mhm.
Okay, and then Eloise, you hover above in your jetpack.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sick.
Elegant.
Eloise, given your background being someone from Ion Harbor, there's no role for you to traverse this. You're not traversing it at extremely high speeds. And the weather, while you do actually hear the rolling thunder of another storm coming, it's not so bad that you have to roll to keep up with the canoes. Those of you in canoes, you can teamwork test this with one of the other people in the canoes. So Yaz is going to be the primary on your canoe, Gus.
Yeah.
And you need to roll sail to assist.
Can it be athletics? Because it's using an oar, and I'm strong. I'm big.
The problem isn't about going fast. The water's taking care of that. It's
You
about
got the strength to use the
paddling
oar. It's about the knowledge of
backwards.
when and how to use the oar.
exactly like she's shouting out to you, and you're following her instructions. That's why you guys are teamworking this. But basically, you got to roll sail just to like be able to pull it off. This is the first roll. This roll will determine how much fatigue you all have to resist.
Oh.
Well, Porter, I think you should take the lead on this.
Sure. Yeah.
But I will assist you.
This sail roll, and I apologize in advance to Gus because I cannot imagine this is useful.
Oh,
This sail roll is going to be at a -6 because you are sailing through rapid, terrible, bad water.
you absolute jerk. I rolled my target.
You can always go it strong.
I am.
Could I have, if I spend a machinery cube, could I make Gus a life jacket?
Sure, yeah. Absolutely. Spend a machinery cube, Gus, you have a life jacket.
My last machinery cube gets you a life jacket.
I'm gonna spend a grit before I roll to make my
Okay.
God. Hey, did we get a grit for surviving a dangerous situation?
All of you do get a grip for surviving a dangerous situation.
Great, cool. Now, hold on, let me use my reliability real quick. Okay, so this is when you roll this, you know you gotta do it. I'm gonna spend 2 grit. It puts me at 0 grit. We'll play to the gallery. So both of these 2s explode.
Hell yeah.
I rolled a 4 and a 4 and a 7. I rerolled the 7, rolled it into a 20, rolled my explosion on my 4. It rolled into a 20.
Well, at least
I mean, it's not a misfire.
it's not a misfire.
I've already done, but
Porter, you get a +2.
Lovely. That's
How many pluses do you give me, Gus? A +1? Okay, so Porter, you have a +2, so you're only rolling at a -4.
Oh, lovely. All right. -4 +2. That's.
honestly, I'm just gonna get out and I'm gonna water walk and I'm gonna Hulk and super jump.
Just pick up the canoe and carry it.
Yeah. Yes, you want to ride?
Okay. Gus, I need you to roll an endure test at a -3.
Okay. That I can do.
And Porter, let me know how many successes you got.
Oh, Porter, I spent my last grip to give you this +2.
It's 1 6.
It's one success?
One.
On sailing? On sale?
Now, I am going to spend 2 grit to play to the gallery so that I can make the 7 explode.
Seems worth.
Yeah, God, I should have been the primary on this.
Wait,
Like,
are you playing down to the gallery?
Yes.
You should make your own luck. Because then you get to add 2 dice for the price of that one.
Oh, all right. I'll take it. Yeah. I'll make
So
my
you're
own
also
luck.
going to make your own luck. You're going to play down to the gallery and make your own luck.
No.
No.
Oh.
Just make my own luck twice. That's what.
Oh. Okay. Well, so I still go up to 7, but you are at 2.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I did get 3 successes on my endure.
You got 3 successes on your endure?
Uh-huh.
I rolled 2 16. How? Tell
Oof.
me.
Gus, you take 3 direct to hit point damage.
Oh. That's brutal.
Yeah, that's still just the 1 success there.
All right, Dex and Porter, I need you to roll fatigue or endure at a -3 to resist fatigue.
Great.
my survival kit means I can roll survival.
Oh, was mine?
That's against the elements. This actually isn't against the elements because it's about physical exertion.
Because of a river.
What? So the way survival kit works is it's a minus. It lets you roll survival to resist against fatigue caused by the elements. Yeah. Go ahead, roll survival.
Sorry, was my endure at a -3 as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, great. No, that's fine. I'm good.
Okay.
I have 5 hits.
Okay. You only rolled 1 on sale though, right?
Yes. No, 2. He rolled 2.
Yeah.
I could be driving this boat.
But Porter is the main. Porter's roll is the one that sets the fatigue damage.
Yeah, right.
And Porter only got 1.
1.
Dax, you take 5 direct to hit point damage.
Survive or I forget. Is survivalist a hit or is it a bonus?
Survivalist the talent?
I have 6 hits.
Okay. You take 3 direct to hit point damage, Dex.
Okay.
And Porter, how many successes did you roll on endure?
Well, I rolled a grave misfire. But on the reroll, does the reroll matter if I rolled a grave misfire?
I am driving the boat, I guess.
So misfires triggered on the first, but success or failure is determined by other factors. So if you got a success on your reroll, then it's just a regular misfire and not a grave misfire.
Exploded, so I got 2 success.
Okay. But you also misfired.
I have 2 grit to downgrade it. It'll just take me
You
to
need
0
3 grit.
You need 3 grit to downgrade it.
An innocent life was saved during this with an exchange of bullets with the hide behind.
Yes.
I definitely shot the hide behind. I protected myself and put myself in harm's way to protect, for no reason, to protect others when I went in past the fucking Splinter Cat to save Elle.
Yes. You now.
That's 3 grit.
That's
I
3
spend
grit.
it,
Every
it's downgraded.
everyone gets 2 XP. Porter gets a grit. He downgrades his regular misfire to no misfire. And you got 2 successes?
Yeah.
Porter, you take 11 direct hit point damage.
My God.
You take an injury.
I take an injury because I can.
That
And I
kills
win.
the porter.
Good lord. Good lord. The porter is not strong. Oh, PJ doesn't have that many HP. Come on, Tommy.
Is this a class 3 because it's 11? I think it is.
No. It's a class 2. 10 to 14.
Okay.
Porter's just trying to row a canoe and gets so tired that he dies.
I don't do a lot of cardio, all right?
No, what happens is Dex and Porter's canoe slams against the canyon wall in a point.
Porter.
In a point, they get caught up in like a current that shoves them up into like some really bad terrain, while Gus and Yaz are able to kind of like find their way into a softer channel, and Porter and Dex like hit some big huge drops and then fly to the side, and Porter gets the brunt of it as the nose butts up against something, and that force makes both of you buck forward, but Porter is in front, so Porter actually slams against the stonework for a second. Porter, what'd you get on your injury?
Hey, I just got a little slowed down. No big deal.
Oh, is that like initiative damage?
It's -1 to my static initiative. So as long as we don't get attacked, I'm probably fine.
Yeah, your head's rung a little bit. It's not great. You're feeling the force of this. Everyone is soaking wet except Eloise.
We ram into it, and Porter goes, "Hey, there's a cliffside there. Watch out."
+1 grit to Dex from Boo.
Oh, thank you. I'm just burning through grit today.
You're telling me.
And all of you fucking, it's rough. This is a whole day's worth of basically going from like rapid to rapid. There's a couple moments, I'd say more than a couple. I'd say there's a handful of moments throughout the entire day where you have a little bit of time to catch your breath as the water just doesn't have a lot of rocks to break against. It's moving you quickly, but like the steering is relatively easy, and you have a second to like catch your breath and relax. And then like it starts speeding up again, and you see rocks at the head, and then Yaz starts shouting out orders, and then you have like 15 to 20 minutes of like just absolutely harrowing, terrible terrain that then gives way to about 5 to 10 minutes of calm weather. You suddenly realize why the Legionnaires Guildhall is hidden here. No one in their right mind would go through this canyon. This canyon is basically rapid after rapid after rapid after rapid, accentuated slightly by the flood, but you could tell, like Porter at least, you can tell like, and probably Dex, you can tell like this terrain is always bad. And only someone who is extremely familiar with the terrain or isn't on a fucking canoe would be able to traverse this without much hassle. Which,
I think every now and then, Dex along the journey as like Porter and here getting slammed around does just sort of like longingly look up at the jagged, horrible cliff. It's like slick with rainwater and like plant life. I'm like, I could climb that.
I know you can climb it. I heard you.
Imagine terrain so bad that somebody gets this deep into the Heartwood forest and sees it and goes, actually, I think I'm going to turn back.
No.
Yeah, you guys are in a
That's
pretty
brutal.
uncharted part of the Heartwood forest, and obviously there's a reason for that. Yeah, and that's your guys' whole fucking day. L, no test required. You're fine.
Just hanging out.
I do need a fuel test. You are using do you have premium fuel for this thing?
Premium fuel just requires a tech cube, right? And fuel to craft it?
Yes.
Yeah. But
Okay.
me, I have one.
Cool. Roll a fuel test for me.
Yeah. It's a 7. I'm great.
Okay, you're fine. Yeah. You guys continue. L.
It is not stress free up here, not because of like anything that I'm doing, but because
Just
no,
watching
no, no, no,
Porter.
no, no, no. Oh no, left, right, down. Oh my god.
Yeah, Eloise, you watch helplessly as your friends traverse this terrible terrain, and honestly, you don't know any way that you can help them. But you keep ahead, you watch, you're ready in case anyone goes overboard or anything terrible happens, and that doesn't happen. It's just ultimately really fucking rough. And then L, You're ahead of everyone. You're kind of scouting ahead. You around a tight bend, and you see something that's kind of familiar, but not quite. You see nestled in, now at this point, the rain is starting to fall again. Another storm is rolling through. You see as the light gets dark, as sunlight is fading, and Yaz is shouting over to Porter, like, we may need to find a way to like set up camp over on the mountain. I don't know, hitch up the canoes or something. I'm not sure. Eloise, you pull ahead. You hear the rumbling of thunder in the distance, and you see built onto the side of this canyon with a stone bridge connecting it to the other side of this canyon is a tiered, steepled castle with stained glass and immense stonework that stretches down partway down the side of this canyon, kind of built into it and built on top of it. The metalwork rusted and old, where you remember seeing it pristine and new. The stained glass with breaks in it, even vines encroaching over the roof and the body of this castle. And that bridge, once an immaculate structure, now broken and repaired over countless decades. You see the Guild Hall of the Legionnaires of Astoria, still massively impressive in its ancient beauty. But you also saw it in its prime, and time has been harsh on it. The jungle has been harsh on it. What was once pure stonework is beaten, rough, coarse, and muted. What was once polished and shining metalwork, slightly rusted with vines gripping into it. What was once brand new, amazing stained glass work, muted with age and with cracks and breaks in certain points. But within, you see light. You see a sign of life. This is not an abandoned castle in the middle of the Heartwood. It is an ancient castle in the middle of the Heartwood forest. And you spot this before anyone else. And you remember seeing it through Owen Lemaire's eyes and his vision. It is old, but sturdy, and does not look weaker given its age. Simply, it shows its age. And then your friends whip around this corner. And the water, for all of you on the boats, is the calmest it has been since you entered the canyon. As it slows down to an extremely controllable current. And all of you also see this castle built into the side of the canyon with a bridge connecting it to the other side. Large, massive stained glass windows. Truly a relic of a time before time. As you whip around the corner. And strangely, the light from within looks more like candlelight than anything else. You see the flicker of fire glinting against the stained glass. No steady beam of electric light. And there, just ahead of you, slightly submerged by the risen water, is a dock with several boats of similar design to the ones you've put together, but much sturdier. With a winding pathway of stairs leading up to a stone landing high above. where the castle begins. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
I was 100% the next words out of your mouth were going to be like, come around a tight bend and the thunder of a waterfall. 100%. Oh, that's sick. That's really cool.
You guys have arrived at the guild hall of the Legionnaires of Astoria. All intact, if a little battered around.
I'm fine. I'll roll a resilience roll, be ready to go.
Yeah, you guys are good.
Yeah. Okay.
I have no regrets about this flying contraption I have made. None. No regrets. Seriously.
You shouldn't.
Nope, I
Yeah.
don't.
That's great.
And at this point, we're going to move into the Q&A section of the stream, which means if you have any questions about Manifest, about the players, about the world, about the campaign, about anything, toss it in the chat. We will answer it. But we're going to start with questions that were submitted through the Kickstarter exclusive Discord. And it's a bunch of questions from Argitlam. So we're going to kick off with questions from Argilon, but if you have any questions yourself, any Q&A, anything about the session or anything, toss it in the chat. We'd be happy to chat with y'all. But let's go. The first question from Argitlam is, in light of recent events and GM proclivities, would the regenerative somatic ability help a person reattach a limb? And the answer to that is no. The regenerative property only restores hit points. Treating an injury is different.
It actually doesn't even restore hit points directly. It allows you to gain additional resilience rolls, a mechanic which only restores hit points.
Yes. It would be really interesting if there was insight power that that helped you heal injuries faster. It is not the regenerative property, and it's not in the core book. And that's all I have to say on that. Next up, another question from Argitlam in the Discord. During the preparation for the jailbreak, the drifters were given shields that could generate a bubble of protection. Could this be placed inside of a moving vehicle to give your car a bit of added protection during a chase? It would have to be placed on top of the car, which is
convertible.
Or convertible. It could be in the convertible. Yeah, you would need it would need an unobstructed space to make the dome, which honestly is not that hard. Like,
it's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I actually think, maybe not, but I actually think the language is that it must be placed on the ground, which your GM could easily say, like, oh, that's a solid surface, it does it. But technically,
Or like spend
rules is written and not intended, perhaps.
I, as a GM, would say you would have to spend at least one machinery cube, if not a machinery cube and a tech cube, to like fuse it to the hood of your car or the top of your car, and then it would move along with your car. That's how I would rule it. But Addy has a good point that a GM could very well say, no, it's got to be stationary on the ground. It can't be moving because that would break the shield, because the force of a rock pushing against the shield could damage it and then it would break. And I fully support that rendering. I know that I would do it the other way, but like full on, like I'm going to say right now for posterity, if a GM decides that you can't do that, that is totally valid.
But also, let's live in a world where I've got a van, and on each side of this van, I have a heavy shield with a shield generator mod on it.
It's mostly, the reason I would allow it is because the shield generator mods, while very useful for like soaking up one hit, usually don't soak up more than one hit. They just basically soak up one hit.
I think even the heavy shield like eats 2 from most threats to mid-level characters.
Yeah.
Could you slap it on if you were about to crash?
and
No.
having
No.
to absorb some of the impact?
No, because it doesn't like you can walk through the shield, right?
Mhm.
Like if someone's inside the shield and like Gus wants to hit them, it doesn't prevent Gus from running inside the bubble and punching them.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, that's
It's like the shield from Dune.
Yes. The slow blade penetrates. And if you shoot it with a laser, it's a nuke.
Um,
And if you
wanna
use it
play
in the
the character.
desert, Wassit's
I want to play a character called the Slow Blade.
ooh, I like it. Okay. We definitely have some more in the Discord. I also see at least one in the chat. I love that. We're gonna get to that. More from Argit in the Discord. Here are a couple characters from a game I haven't played in many years. It's Billy Lee Black and Rico Banderas, which I love that name, from Xenogears. Billy is a young priest who runs an orphanage. All right, Path of the Preacher, done. In a game with superhuman martial artists and genetic beef boys. He is the one sensible enough to bring a pair of revolvers to the fight. So he's not a brawler.
He's not. I don't think this is a preacher. Actually, I think he's a devout gunslinger.
A devout gunslinger?
Also, I had such
gigantic beef boys, not genetic beef boys. Thank you for the
I had
correction.
such a
Probably
journey
also
took.
genetic beef boys.
I had such a journey I took reading this. I was like, yeah, priest, game of superhuman martial artists and gigantic beef boys. He brings guns. He brings guns to the beef fight. That's not fair.
What are you doing bring guns here? We fight with our fists. Barry! Okay. So yeah, maybe devout gunslinger or something like fucking
Ooh, the very rare and never seen devout law.
Ooh, that could also be really good. It depends a little bit on his moral compass, whether he's outlaw or gunslinger or maybe even preacher.
He used to be a guy with guns too.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of ways you can be a guy. You could be a militant preacher.
Yeah, maybe a devout deputy.
I think the thing is he's brought a pair of revolvers, and that really brings to mind gunslinger.
Yeah. It depends. It really depends on his personality and what his most important thing is. Is it shooting people? Or is it
shooting
preaching?
people to save this orphanage? That's a gunslinger.
Yes.
Yeah, fighting mutants and monsters sounds like some gunslinger stuff.
Yeah. So like if his most important thing is shooting, which it's a video game, so probably is, then gunslinger for sure. Devout gunslinger, done. But if he's more narrative based about his like faith and stuff, then probably Path of the Preacher with militant as a background, which is almost in a lot of ways the same thing as a devout gunslinger.
It's such a weird juxtaposition. You get to the same place, basically.
Interesting. Argalam says his father is definitely a gunslinger, which makes me think a militant preacher.
I think he's a devout gunslinger, but his faith is the way of the gun.
All right, and then Rico Banderas is remember the thing I said about gigantic beef boys? Yeah, that's him. Honestly, this was mostly a gift for Roman.
Thank you. You knew how I would take the first one. You gave me one for me, and I appreciate that. And I did look up Rico Banderas. First off, Rico Banderas is just Blanca from Street Fighter. Based on the look, they look exactly the same. But apparently Rico's an outlaw brawler.
Oh my god, yeah! He does. Right? He is just Blanca.
That's a Blanca. I don't know what to tell you. But apparently he was a criminal to like fend for himself and like was in jail or something, and is also a wrestling champion who loses their title. So yeah, outlaw brawler, big into wrestling. I'd play this. I would play this absolutely, and I would do like electrified grapple spikes, and I would do a Blanca.
You did say two paths. You said outlaw and brawler.
Indentured brawler.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Oh, because Path of the Outlaw. Yeah. I mean that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Indentured brawler. Boom.
Okay. I mean that gives him brawn and whatever the alternate for brawler is, which is probably hardiness, I assume.
Yeah,
I think so. That sounds right.
and then Moxie as the aptitude, because you got to play to the crowd a little bit.
Yeah, so he's brawn, hardiness, and moxie. You don't want to give him illuminated powers to be. He is insanely durable. Okay, so that's hardiness for sure.
Yeah, I mean, could be illuminated. Look, if you have the title, you got to be able to play to the fans a little, right?
Fair.
They don't put that on someone who doesn't connect with the crowd.
Okay, I'm gonna
Doesn't
break.
matter how good you are in ring.
I'm gonna break away from the Discord questions for a second before I do Argent Lom's last question in the Discord, so that I can address the chat, because the Pack Walk has a question in the chat. What are the best places on Manifest to do a Bear Grylls style survival show besides the Heartwood Forest, which we are currently in?
The easy answer is anywhere.
Anywhere except like the middle of the garden where there's a bunch of settlements. And even then, you could go to like the sort of like grasslands and forests in between and pretend you're somewhere worse, which would be very in line for
Honestly,
a Bear Grylls style survival
if you
show.
were trying to record it, probably that's where they would record it, in like the mountains and forests in between the settlements in the heart of the garden, where like it's actually not that bad, but they can make it look that bad. But if you're trying to be authentic, then Frostfire Forest is also an extremely hard place to survive in, because while the Heartwood Forest in the southern part of the garden is like a tropical jungle with like teeming with life, the Frostfire Forest on the north end of the garden, nearby the North Pole, it is home to frigid and terrible cold. That's why it's called Frostfire, because the cold is so cold that it burns. And the further north you get, the more insane it gets. In fact, the northern pole of Manifest is one of the least explored parts of Manifest, just because of how absolutely cold it is, because Manifest's weird rotation makes it so that the North Pole is just like no sun. And another place that would be good would be the Sulfur Dunes.
Mm-hmm.
The wastes in general.
Yeah, anywhere in the waste.
In the waste.
Anywhere in the waste does good shit, because that's just swamplands and terrible critters.
Salt flats would be good.
Salt flats would be good. Salt flats would be a little bleak and depressing, probably, but you could do like one episode in the salt flats.
And then the last episode takes place at Lake Jacobson, where you just
You can't. You just don't.
he just tries out some stuff and then dies.
Yeah, Lake Jacobson, very, very toxic, very caustic. But yeah, Sulfur Dunes is a good place too, because it's an extremely hot and terrible part of the Badlands. There's lots of volcanoes on the southern end of the Sulfur Dunes. So you could get some pretty good survival stuff there. So those are like the really extreme areas, right? You got the Heartwood Forest, which is like just pure, just too much life packed in one place jungle. You have the Frostfire Forest, which is freezing cold to the point of like absolute death. You have the Sulfur Dunes, which is extremely hot with volcanoes. You have the Waste, which is also extremely hot and humid and full of weird life. And then Lake Jacobson, which will just kill you.
Yeah. That's it.
Sulfur Dunes immediately sounds like a fantastic place to lose an arm, doesn't it though? Doesn't it, Packwalk? Anyways, we have one final question in the Discord. So if you have any questions you want to throw in the chat, now's your chance. We're going to answer them. But the last question in the Discord from Argentlam is, assuming a grav stability harness is designed to arrest the fall of a human-sized being, how many would it take to safely drop a motorcycle or a car?
Now, before you answer, Tommy, I just want to tell the people, Tommy's going to have a well-reasoned and measured response for this, and then I will also have an answer.
My answer is my answer is a question. How many precision drivers do you have?
My immediate instinct was to go, I don't want to answer this. I don't want there to be a definitive answer from me as to how many, because I have to stress this. in Manifest, the GM gets to make a lot of determinations based on a lot of factors, and I don't want to undercut the GM who has to deal with this question. So I'm going to throw it over to all of you to say what you think it is, because I couldn't possibly say it without knowing exactly all of the specifics about the vehicle in question. I need you to build out the vehicle, and I need the situation, and then I go, this many.
All right. That, like I said, a smart and well-measured response. I'm going to tell you my answer. It's number of seats plus 2.
That's pretty good.
I was gonna say, in a regular game for me, 2 to 4, depending on the vehicle. There are some that just can't do it. In Rico Kazak, 1 maybe.
I think 2. You got to have one at the front and the back.
Yeah, Rico Kazak, different rules. Full on.
Rico
Just like strap on or motorcycle, just good.
Rico Kazak gets to break the
middle, put on the sides.
Rico Kazak gets to break the rules of what illuminated powers are because the people who ride it aren't illuminated. So, like, he just gets to have one on him, and then he telekinesis himself up while he holds the car.
Rico, you can fly a tank by firing the tank in different directions.
Yeah, I think my determination here: number of seats plus 2. If like you're carrying a lot of stuff, number of seats plus 4.
That's a pretty solid answer.
I don't think you can use the graph stability harnesses again.
They also probably break. Yeah. Yeah, Rico definitely operates on Grand Theft Auto 3 rules. 100%.
Rico, I don't know GTA 3. Rico operates on Just Cause rules.
Yes.
Yeah. That's pretty accurate. How badly would someone have to roll during a rapid section to lose an arm? I have an answer for that. I don't actually think they could lose an arm. Is my sad answer.
It would have to have been 20 plus damage of fatigue that we were dealing with.
Unfortunately,
and then to have not gotten any hits on it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't think about it. And I made, if you got 0 successes, I made it 18 fatigue damage you were resisting. So there was no way you'd lose an arm unless you rolled a misfire.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the worst possible fatigue scenario comboed with a grave misfire, probably your arm just flies off. It's wet, comes out the socket.
Yeah. I think if someone grave misfired on the sail, I would make the fatigue damage really high. Probably more high than, like, a grave misfire. I probably would have made, like, the fatigue damage like 25. And then every roll you'd hit on that endure or survival would have been 2 off of that. So pretty much impossible that, not impossible, but unlikely that you didn't have a class 4 entry to deal with.
God, I cannot get over that I somehow got more hits on Sail than Porter.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
Yeah.
I was rolling it once.
Porter, I do want to let you know that the chat wanted to give you more grit, but they gave you all the grit they could in one session.
That's fair.
Because there is a limit to how much grit they can give you.
Yeah, and who came up with that limit, do you think? Wake up, people!
All right. That, I believe, is the end of all the Q&A. I got nothing else in the Discord. I got nothing else in the chat. So we are going to call it here for tonight, y'all. We've made it to the Guild Hall of the Legionnaires of Astoria, and it's probably totally fine here. And we are going to be back in on the 25th of January with episode 45 of Campaign 2. So we'll see you all then. Until then, have a good time. We're looking forward to you next Tuesday.
Everything is fine. How are you?
Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye.